Alright, so it has been a while. Previously, you had... I'll just start. You woke up, found out Amiko was missing. A note was left from her brother inviting her to the glassworks. You ended up going to the glassworks to search for her. You found a bunch of goblins, a bunch of dead bodies. You fought her half-brother, killed her half-brother, found her father encased in glass on a chair. You went downstairs, found a couple more goblins. They talked about something in the basement. You also found Amiko, who was on the verge of death. You ended up healing her. You talked to her. She let you know that Suto had brought her to the glassworks and told her that there was going to be a larger goblin raid on Sandpoint that was going to raise it to the ground and burn it as an offering. He offered her to go to Thistletop and join his tribe to be safe. Yes, sir.
Did he say when? I don't remember if he said, or if we found out how long.
Soon was the closest you got from her at the time. She said no, slapped him, so he tied her up and let his goblins cut on her and bring her close to death. You ended up, Sanishi came down, picked her up, took her back into town. You ended up going down a smuggling tunnel. You found a wall that had been broken inward into a catacomb area. You ended up exploring this, fighting some creepy looking sin spawn monsters and a flying Ifrit, I believe it was. What? No, I think we had this discussion last time. She's not an Ifrit, she is a Quasit.
That's right.
She is a Quasit. So you ended up fighting her during this battle. A goblin, a mutated goblin with an extra arm came up, and a couple extra sin spawn. You fought all of them, ended up killing her.
Died gloriously. No one saw it.
No, someone saw it.
Did you?
Well, I was facing the other way, but I saw the result.
Oh, wow. But you didn't see the shot. Nobody saw the shot.
As far as I know, you threw it.
You ended up going back up, taking a rest for the night. You talked to the mayor and the priest, let them see the journals of Suto that you had recovered. You took a long rest to recover yourself, went back down, explored the rest of the catacombs, found a bunch of fun things. You saw some creepy blood writing, each of you individually at different times, that said things.
And he saw something that the rest of us don't know about yet, written in the walls of the chamber with no gravity.
Yes, you don't know about it.
You don't.
So I don't think you ended up telling anybody that you saw it.
He chose not to. But we had some of the most amazing lasso work.
There was a lot of after 52 cards were thrown one at a time into said room.
What was that? Was that Sanishi?
That was Sanishi. One at a time while everybody was discussing what you were going to do next. She threw an entire deck of cards floating in this room. So you did lasso. You came out with a book, wine.
Who's got the book? I have the wine.
I believe Sanishi had it. She was chewing on it.
That's right.
Chewing on the wine?
Chewing on the book.
Okay.
I think
there's a bottle of wine. There is a forked wand. There was a dead raven with a halo of writhing maggots, which you did not lasso.
I believe we left the dead raven alone.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I think it was Icky's request, and we all respected it.
Geisen,
That doesn't sound like us. Never mind.
Did Geisen ever identify that ring?
Yes.
Yes.
It was a ring of spell storing.
If you want.
Oh, thank you.
That's right.
I've been holding on
It's
to
like
it
on my list.
because I can put spells in it and then give it to one of you
Damn
guys.
Yes.
Is this where your tracks were?
Well, I could do the same. Okay.
Alright, you
Cool.
explored further. You found out there was a stairwell going up that was blocked by a cave-in. There was also a separate stairwell going down that was blocked by a cave-in.
And had noises.
Which one is
And
it?
had noises.
Okay, the down was the noises.
down had noises. It sounded like kind of like howling of some inhuman animal, but it was way off in the distance, and there was no way to get through. You found a...
Nonsense. We have a Grilda.
Throw me.
Do your worst. Throw me through the wall.
Always.
Keep throwing me at the wall until I go through.
I've got the hard head.
After you had finished exploring the catacombs, you came out. You put the stones back up as best you could to make a wall. A very poor imitation of a dick was drawn on it.
This was way beforehand.
No, that was after.
Oh, was there a
you
second
drew
one?
You drew a bad dick in the smuggler's tunnel.
Okay.
And then you drew an even worse dick.
That's right. I
on
rolled
that one.
really low on that dick drawing.
Yes.
You're right.
Your performance roll on that one was extremely low.
Quite low.
Like that.
It wasn't quite that low.
No,
I think
it was like a 4.
I do
if I
think that if
remember
you
right.
look at it and you squint, you could tell it's supposed to be a
I think it was
dick.
like
That's
it
all
was
you need.
there was like an oval and 2 circles that weren't connected, but they were kind
It
of
was
in
like
the
an
same
8
area.
and some equal signs and a C.
Yeah, she did it really
And
quick. She
really,
wasn't
that's
very
like, yeah, like, because then, you like under it's like the subtext, like, ha, I got you to squint at my dick.
Then everybody, you guys
It's
came
solved.
up out of the glassworks. The guards that were outside, you let them know that it had been cleared out. There was currently no more danger. They went to grab the rest of their crown's guards to take them home because they've been standing guard outside of the glassworks for 8 hours while you were resting. It is currently about midnight.
Okay.
And we
No,
were-
it was currently about 3 in the morning because you woke up at about 11:30
Right.
from your sleep, and then you went down and explored for a couple hours, sealed everything up, came up. So it's about 2:30 in the morning this time.
Damn, the bars are closed.
And
Only if they have Wisconsin rules.
Where are we? In town or?
you have currently bless you. You have currently stepped out of the glassworks.
Okay.
You just got done speaking to the crown's guards. You sent them on their way.
Is Glass Dude still in the glassworks?
Yes.
All right.
Well, you specifically told the crown's guards not to enter the glassworks, so nobody has,
Okay.
as of right now, nobody but you has been inside of the glassworks to see the things you've talked about.
He's not going anywhere.
I know, and we've verified he's dead.
Yeah.
Not that we all wanted to save him anyway, but
I mean,
Yeah.
he might have cool stuff on him.
that's true. I don't know. He got pickpocketed before he came here.
You don't know that.
You bought everyone beer.
Yes, I bought beer. And Neil's. But you don't know.
You're fair. That's fair. That's
Okay.
fair. That's fair.
Maybe
I
he
do
has
not
a
disagree.
jewel-encrusted thong on.
Actually, the
One does.
alcohol and meals have been comped repeatedly for
Except-
different reasons.
This one, he paid for like the bar.
No,
Oh,
you did. You did. That's right. And yeah,
And he paid.
you did.
What?
They're being romantic. It's disgusting.
No, I brought them. I
No.
said kisses all around, and only she responded.
Kisses from
I
Tyler.
really thought Nate would have said something.
No, Jill's the nice one.
Well, I expected something nice. I expected something sarcastic. I expected some kind of response. You would have been quiet and just did that little
No,
chuckle
I
that you
did.
just did.
I groaned and rolled mad.
It's the Lars. Everyone do the Lars.
Wait,
Let's
wait,
hear the
wait,
Lars.
yeah.
I really didn't know what Tammy was going to do, so I just kind of...
You never.
When she
I
wasn't
never know.
here...
Alright,
All right.
so what are we gonna do,
did you
guys?
Oh, you agree. Okay.
I'm...
Alright, so you are currently standing outside. You're currently standing outside the glassworks. Like I said, it's dark. There is a quarter moon out. So
I
it's-
assume there's no sign of screaming and fire and panic from the town.
no, everything seems pretty calm right now.
No. Very
No,
well.
you can't make. Oh, okay.
But as far as we know, there's still a threat
Oh,
from
awesome.
goblin attacks,
So-
right?
Yes. We had no way to get underground to get deeper that we're aware of. Is there someone in town we could ask if there's maybe
I think
another
I may
secret
have just
passageway?
decided I'm going to use kisses to distract
I mean,
myself.
that would
back.
defeat the purpose of a
Perfect.
secret
Um,
passageway.
I hear talk of the ceiling.
Didn't we find literature telling us that there might be some shit going down up here? What was it, Old
Yeah.
Light?
What was that? Found literature?
Oh yes, that sounds right.
It looks
I think we
like
investigated the
a
map last
place
time,
where shit would go down.
and we did not find.
It was.
No, I thought it was a...
We either found literature or I'm thinking back to my dream.
everything.
It's one of the two. You know.
This map is the literature.
Do you have your dream?
Do you have a dream?
No, it's shattered in a box. He's already told us this.
No, that's my dream.
No, actually, it's my dream.
That's his dream for me. No, that's his dream for you. That's
Right.
You have a
because
dream if you don't have a soul.
You're right, I
I believe
Wow.
Yes.
I
dreams are
don't
linked to the
think Old Light
subconscious,
was
not the
called
soul.
out specifically.
I believe I have
I
the physical
thought that there
copy
was, like,
of the
a
book
pool of
she's
light that
gnawing
I
on,
saw,
but it's not
like,
readable.
That's why I was like, because I was
It
like,
was. I believe
do.
it was
Oh.
in Sandpoint. It was not.
I have the
Okay.
old fucking book that no one can read.
It was
May I see
think
the
I
old
have the
fucking
paper.
book that no
You
one
would as you've been
May I
around
see the old fucking
Sandpoint,
book that no one can read?
you would have made the
Yeah.
connection that what you're
But
speaking
yeah,
of
you have the physical
was
paper.
what you saw
okay.
down in the
Okay.
catacombs.
No
Okay.
shit.
That was where that
Okay.
particular place was
Okay,
located.
cool. Thank you.
Trying attempts to read the old fucking book that no one can read.
We went through this before. Nobody
Right,
could
but
read
the
it.
party hasn't seen.
What?
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
we
we
have.
role played this.
I think
Yeah.
we did.
What? We did not roll. The book. I asked everybody what languages you spoke, and nobody could read it.
I know it's been several weeks. You've probably forgotten. Tarnan grabs the book as they get outside, looks at it, and starts concentrating, and he's focusing on something, not the book.
Yes, and I said there was no response.
But I'm role playing it for the rest of the party.
Oh, okay. I get you.
Tarnan
I'm
grabs
sorry.
the book. No worries. Tarnan grabs the book and he's looking at it and he stares off. He's not exactly staring at the book. He's focusing on something farther away.
Grelda, not being the most talented when it comes to social situations, leans over and says, "That's not how you read books."
Fine. I'll find another way.
There's only one way to read books, I think.
Staring off, not at the book. It's not the way to read books.
Left to right, top to bottom, groups of word, makes sense.
It really depends upon the
Tommy
language.
Which? No.
Your version
Nobody's
I'm trying to
gonna
read
do my
didn't
cold
work.
snap.
I'm sorry.
I feel like I'm a terrible person.
I mean,
Try another way.
I want you to hold on to that feeling, but
It never leaves. It's
I'm
ingrained.
holding a pretty book.
What?
I was checking for
Anyone have anything else you want to do?
Do it with
before-
could I-
coin?
could I see your book of clues, please?
Can someone sing the Blues Clues song?
I don't
Oh,
know.
and while Icky's looking at the book, I told Tammy I had a revelation as I was doing my DM prep for this particular session. The Goblin Squash Stables, where Davrin Hosk, the Scottish gentleman who pays for your ears, that Goblin Squash Stables is actually literally next door to the Rusty Dragon, as opposed to on the far north of town, as I thought it was.
And he forced us to walk.
And I forced you to pretend to walk 5 minutes.
Come on!
But just
this
so you know,
was a
it
forced
is
march.
literally the Rusty Dragon and the Goblin Squash Stables are literally next door to each other.
Problem.
So it was just more of a I saw it and I was like, oh.
So
I'm an
basically, you force them to drunkenly stumble their way for 5
There was
minutes
a lot of
next door.
no, it's this way, it's this way. We
Look,
wandered
I
around.
only
and
had
then
one hard liquor at that point. Grelda was not drunk.
Well, it's 3 in the morning and we just got done fighting a bunch of people. Maybe we should head
Nope,
back to the inn.
you did not fight anybody. You just explored
We
this.
found
Yes.
nothing
Oh.
new.
You took
The only
you
thing
took
we
a
wanted
nap.
to do is perhaps throw somebody into the room.
I have
and
a-
I wasn't exactly sure that
what was
we
the
wanted
name
to
of the
use a
weapon?
number.
It's a pole with a sharp bit on the end.
Halberd.
Thank you.
Except
bread.
we
First name
had
is
discussed
Hal.
that
Last
and
name is Bird.
decided
How did you
That-
know?
all evidence pointed to the person would not die. They would in fact survive because the maggots were surviving.
Yes, but we didn't go in.
Oh,
we still
that
didn't do
is
it.
You just saw it out of the corner of your eye. There was no. What you're thinking of was not at that location. It was just. It was a landmark you
I
saw,
saw it as a
and then when
landmark.
you came to town, you saw that landmark again. So it kind of put this particular place into perspective.
Gotcha. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
So I do believe we did investigate the map in the Book of Secrets pretty in depth last time and couldn't find anywhere else in town that seemed to be a potential entrance to the catacombs. Does everyone agree?
But as Icky pointed out, I do believe we at some point saw something to do with the lighthouse.
The lighthouse was mentioned somewhere for sure.
Looking
What
through
was
the
that other
book of
island
clues,
that we were
I
looking
couldn't find what that
The
was.
other island,
Yeah,
Thistletop.
that's the one.
The goblins are from.
Is that
So
Thistletop?
No.
That's
Thistletop
just
is
a-
not in Sandpoint.
thank you, Jill. It's very helpful. You're very helpful.
You're welcome.
Do we want to go investigate the lighthouse? Does anyone have any other thoughts? People we could ask?
I mean, we don't really have a reason to at this point. The reason
We're
that
pretty sure there's going to be an attack on the city.
right.
I guess that's kind of all we know.
Um,
So Grelda kind of sidles over and she's like, "Not that I'm judging, but I noticed. You know people. anyone who might know any secret passageways?
Oh, is this the fourth night? Or third? This is the third night coming up, the fourth day.
I love how this is relevant to the answer.
It is. It is actually. There was the day of the festival, the goblin attack. Everybody slept.
We woke up.
That was day one. You woke up, glassworks, fight, come back, sleep.
Yep.
Wake up in the middle of the night. Oh no, you went back.
So this is day
slept.
3. Morning 3. Whatever.
You went. No, you. This will be. What is coming up is day 3.
But
Day 1, you slept. You talked to the sheriff and the mayor. The sheriff said he was going to Magnamar,
Yep.
so please stay.
Okay.
You went to sleep, woke up,
So
so you are coming up on day 4
Okay, that's what I'm.
of being in town. Yes.
So it is 2:30 a.m. of day 4.
Approximately, yes.
Yes. Perhaps.
That is delightfully vague.
It's supposed to be. There are some people that don't relish knowing. A lot of people. It's
I could turn around and face the other direction.
They're not here right now, thankfully.
Oh,
However,
So, if the city's gonna be attacked, let's do what we can to let's set it up for defense. Let's take these bridges down from our side so that they can't cross them.
many towns depend upon bridges for commerce.
escape out the other side when the attack comes from a different direction.
Can that be Plan B?
We could at least guard the bridges, though, since
We'll leave that to the
they probably have to come.
We should tell them to do this.
Yeah, like, let's just. I mean, I'm just a soldier. I don't know how to do this, but you know, my commanders have set me to guard cities before.
Don't sell yourself short, lass. You've been doing a great job. You actually have. You may not remember it, but you were impressing all of us.
Last time you were very impressive.
Yeah. I wish I could remember this.
Well, I mean,
A little hazy.
Great, now she's going on a raise. Thanks a lot, guys.
I know I have contributed some
I will
thoughts.
double the nothing I'm paying you.
And
Oh, that's not true. There is coin going her way.
Whenever the dude gets back from Magnamar, which who knows if that's gonna happen.
If there's day 3, we got hired on day 2. 2 more days. He should be back.
It's 2 days travel to Magnamar. It's 2 days travel one way, so it would be 4 days travel. You don't know how long it's going to take him there prior to them coming back. I'm just saying, there's at least 4 days of travel. 2 to Magnamar, 2 back from Magnamar, and then whatever time in between.
Interesting. He said we were being hired for 3 days.
Did he specify anything?
He
I don't
did
remember
specify.
specifying.
When we were talking about getting paid 15 gold pieces a day for all of us, including our wayward dwarf at the time,
I absent-mindedly, thank you.
and 4 past actions, we'll also get it, and 3 additional days. 4 past actions and 3 additional days. So now this would be day 2 of those 3 additional days. Well,
Alright, I might be
It's the morning.
misremembering. It might be a day to
That's-
Magnamar.
hey, it's your world, man. If he's gone,
I'm
he's
trying
gone.
to-
I mean,
Trying to remember the map of Valerian.
fair enough.
Only we had computers.
I don't believe in computers.
I don't either. They're
Oh, and I had
We have wizards. What
I
do
had
you
forgotten.
do?
You're all standing around talking. After you end up looking at the book,
Nothing explodes on me, and I'm fine.
nothing does explode on you. Everybody, you kind of see
Well, it was a
Mead,
risk.
just stop and sit still, and his head cocks, and he just looks off into the distance. And then all of you just hear him say, "I have to go," and then he just starts walking off.
So see you in the morning.
Nothing. He just keeps
I
walking.
need.
He's walking with a purpose, he's moving very quickly. He's just short of running, and he is
Perhaps he's got a meeting to get to. as well.
moving away.
He was our only healer.
Negative.
Negative.
They don't freaking know that.
I mean,
You've healed them.
he was our only
Yes, you
healer.
have.
You
I've used my healing kit on them.
you helped heal. What's her name?
Amiko.
No, I don't think he did.
Yeah, with the healing kit.
Oh yeah, you stabilized her.
Uh-huh.
No, you brought her back to hit points because she woke up.
With a healing kit.
Cat's out of that bag, sir.
Well, of course, Sean
Yes.
just meant
Out
that
of
he has
character, I
healing
did.
kits.
In character, no. It was
I thought you healed them prior to the battle, between the Sin Spawn
I
and
don't
fighting
believe
Illyrium.
he did. No.
Nope.
It's been like 3
But at least we
months,
know
so
that
I
he has the
apologize.
capability.
No, none of your characters know that. All of you can know that all you want. But none of your characters know that. Because
I trust everybody here to not metagame, so
Okay.
I'm not worried about it.
Because why would they? Why would I have to do that? I have a healing kit. That's clearly what I used. Just like when we started the things on fire, I specifically said I was using a cantrip, but I had flint and oil in hand.
But
To
you
make it
also lit his coin
Yeah.
Yeah,
multiple times.
that's a cantrip. Big freaking deal. That's pretty easy.
Yeah. Alright, I'm just.
It's just that's simple. That's
Neither the player
Not
nor the
like-
character has read the
not
player's
like with
guide
him.
entirely to know what class you might be, except that you seem sneaky. So
Fair
maybe
enough.
you are the sneaky class.
Otherwise known as the sneak.
You make
No,
fire.
it's the sneaky class.
Okay.
Technically.
carrying on.
How's he saying the official word?
It is late in the morning. Has anyone else got anything else to do before dawn?
If no one has anything else to do and we're doing nothing, I would like to spend an hour communing with this beautiful new weapon that I found.
Outside the doors of the glassworks?
No, down we wrenched it from the statue's hands.
No, I know, but you're standing outside the
Yeah.
doors of the glassworks.
Yeah.
Is that
I'm
where you would like to
suggesting
spend
that-
Well,
an
no,
hour communing with this?
I'm suggesting that I have a thing that would take an hour if no one else has any plans. If we're
Right.
going to argue for an hour,
No.
I'm going to do that instead.
Did I ever buy the materials for a familiar? I don't think
Yes.
I have yet. Oh, I did?
Oh, I didn't know you had a fun.
Yes, because remember we had the conversation
also.
about you affecting the economy of
Not
Oh, yeah.
that we
you
would
buying
ever
and
nitpick that.
buying and selling incense to affect the economy, so it would be cheaper for you to buy incense. So yes, you did purchase the necessary pieces. You did not go through the process of
Sure,
bringing your
yeah,
familiar back,
yeah.
but you did purchase the necessary requirements.
Alright, well, if we have some time, I have some things I can
Agreed.
do.
Shall we say tomorrow morning, roughly 7 bells?
So that's.
Do you want a short rest or a long rest?
4 hours?
Long rest.
It sounds like you're saying short rest.
Yeah.
Short rest is anywhere between
Well,
anywhere 1 hour or longer.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we had a long rest. We went down
You did.
in there, and
Well,
we didn't do
Yeah,
crap.
we don't need a long
I
rest.
So we
don't
don't need a
believe.
long-
No, you don't need
Yeah,
a long
not at
rest.
all.
That's what I'm
But
asking.
I'm saying everyone split up, do what you got to do. It's going to be basically a short rest, and if you don't want to do a short rest because you've got business to take care of, you've got a weapon to play with, you've got feathers to preen, and you've got probably a well-honed weapon to double-check that it's well-honed. I myself am going...
I got my cards back.
That's excellent.
And
I used,
we don't have them back.
You don't have them back. Your
oh,
cards
right.
are gone.
That's right. You didn't get them back for me.
Yeah,
Nobody
52
lassoed
individual
52
pieces.
cards.
Oh, yeah. We were lucky,
Okay.
but
So in that case, you all split up.
Yeah.
Split the
party!
Kinda,
You all split up. You're going to meet back at 7
at the
a.m.
Rusty Dragon?
at the Rusty Dragon.
Oh yeah. So then I guess we'll go around. What are you going to do during this time?
Would any of the facilities in town be serving up a beverage? Or is this too late for anybody to...
If you want to walk around town and look, where would you start?
You did mention multiple bars earlier.
There are multiple bars.
Yeah.
There's more than just the Rusty Dragon.
Right. And I would know... I visited several of them.
You have stopped by a couple of the bars, yeah.
So I would stop by just the closest one that I'm familiar with, or if I'm not entirely sure where I am, then I would take to the sky and fly around town until I see signs of something that looks like they might like a tavern.
yeah,
Alright,
just kind of go up and look
at
for
Are there any
like,
glowing neon signs?
At the Glass Works, the closest to you actually would be right here.
Okay.
That is you actually. It's right on the wharf, and you would actually see like a couple people coming in and going out, and
Okay.
lights on, and
All right. Well, that's what I do. I it's like I'm going to catch a little bit of refreshment before catching a little rest before we get to it in the morning. I'm going to go find a place to water my beak a bit.
All right. As you step in, you see that this is a large step down from the Rusty Dragon, whereas that is it seemed to be a quality establishment where everything was well kept.
Mm-hmm.
This is rickety.
Mm-hmm.
Putting it would be a nice term of describing it.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be hastily put together right on the wharf. There are a handful of tables, a small bar that is actually slightly leaning. It's a wood bar. It seats about 5 people, but it's slightly leaning to the side. And right behind the bar, there is a huge fish tank that takes up the majority of that back wall.
Okay.
And inside, you stare at it for a second because the fish tank is far nicer than anything else in the bar. And it's clean, and you can clearly see through it. And then you see a little bit of motion kind of darting back. Just one, but you see a little bit of motion darting back. There are 2 people sitting at the bar. There are a couple people over in the corner playing a card game. And there is a bartender behind the bar. Okay.
By the way, your fabulous descriptions are the reason that we spend so much time looking for Sam Smorkel when we go into random bars. Just so you know.
Well, I'm glad, because every place near.
Thanks.
I'm glad that you enjoy my descriptions and my NPCs, because I've tried to step it up since our last campaign, because I felt I was lacking in many departments.
It was terrible.
You want to hear?
It actually, no, it was. I feel it was subpar, but yes. Do you have anything? I'm sorry. Do you have anything particular you would like to do? Do you just want to drink? Otherwise, we can role play the bar, or you can just sit and drink. It kind of depends on what people want to do.
I don't want to take up so I'm interested
3 hours later.
right.
You are interested.
I'm interested, but and I'm at the very least cautious. I don't want to walk into a rickety. Icky would walk into a rickety bar and not immediately was like, I'm gonna sit at the bar and not give a shit about anything that's going on with me. Hey guys, don't kill me, please. I mean, the town seems pretty legit, and that they most of these people know us at this point. I'd like we
can spend a few minutes role playing the bar.
I'd like to assess that everything's on the up and up here, and honestly, like the pristine fish tank and.
If you remember when you flew up into the air and kind of surveyed the town, and there were the 2 drunks fighting that broke up, they were outside of this particular bar.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. So I'd be happy to if I don't get particularly threatening vibes off of anybody that's sitting at the bar, then in there, then I'll just
No, I mean you get some looks, but you guys are well enough known in town that nobody bothers you, nobody gives you a hard time.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'd be happy to just sit at the bar and drink.
Okay. If you're gonna spend a couple hours drinking, I'd say about 5 silver.
Okay.
It's definitely not the highest quality stuff. It's alcohol.
Yeah.
Of some fashion.
Yeah. No, and because we've got 3 hours, 4 hours before work.
4.5 ish.
I'd spend 2 hours tops there.
Okay, we'll say about 4 silver then.
Okay.
All right, Sinishi, what would you be doing during this time?
I think I would. A lot of enemies. Just kind of settle down and run a glassworks and take care of my access.
In front of the glassworks? Okay. As you are sitting down and everybody else kind of departs, you pull out a rag, you begin cleaning off the gore on your axe that you had not cleaned off before you rested previously because you wanted to sleep, get up, and do your stuff. As you're sitting down there cross-legged, there's a couple of torches lighting the streets. You do see a pair of Crownsguard kind of walk by, stop, come over towards you until they get in the light with you. They're about 20 feet away from you. They stop, they look at you, they just kind of nod, and they move on. And you see them, if you're going to stay out there the entire time over those few hours, you see them cross your path once or twice.
Yep.
Just patrolling the town until, once they knew it was you, they kept going.
Just kind of grin at them as I come around.
Play dead on the 3rd pass.
And I realize I'm requesting to skip Billiam here, but...
What?
May I please skip Billiam?
You okay? with that?
Huh?
You okay with letting her
Defining what you're
do
gonna
her
during
part
this
first
thing.
and then come back to you?
Sure.
She is requesting we do her portion before
Yes.
we go back and do your portion.
Not a
I'm just
problem.
asking. Okay.
So Grelda,
Wait, change my mind.
especially noticing that Sanishi is also staying, chooses to keep Sanishi company.
Okay.
She spends the first hour communing with her new weapon, and then assuming, this is how I was going to phrase it before I knew nothing happened, but assuming nothing else happens, then she would stay and guard the glassworks and make sure nobody came up, started anything, and also maintain Sasha.
Well, you spend the first hour with the halberd.
Yes.
It's a very nice halberd.
When she's busy with Sasha, smear blood on her new weapon and then play dead.
Hold it against your chest with blood smeared on it.
Sanishi's
No.
playing dead would be so noisy.
The halberd is not magical.
Okay.
Okay, so is it a specific halberd or just halberd?
It's a well crafted halberd.
Is there stats for well-crafted halberd in the book? I can-
There is halberd in the player's guide. If there's not specifically for halberd, look up polearm.
Okay.
But if you look in the weapons section, it should be in there if you choose to use that.
Okay, thank you.
What would you be doing over these
We
4.5
still have
hours?
rooms at the Dragon.
Yes.
I would head to the Dragon
Okay.
and go to my room and cast my familiar,
Okay. What form?
the owl.
The owl? Okay. And I'm sorry, I do not remember. What was the owl's name?
What happened to the
Ollivander?
owl? I
I
didn't
think
it-
I'll.
It died. It died during the
Ollivander,
Thunder Wave when you
that
were fighting
sounds right.
Illyrium.
Oh, that's
When she was invisible, she appeared. The Thunder Wave happened. Oh no, the Thunder Wave happened as she disappeared. The owl died, and it hadn't come back since.
Then we had an immediate short rest.
Yes, or a long rest. Oh, you had an immediate short rest after that. Yes. So what was the name of the owl?
I thought
I could not
Ollivander.
remember.
Ollivander.
That was it.
And then is there
Well, of course.
is a short rest enough to bring back any slots?
No, you do not get any spell slots back on a short rest. You do.
But you
have
had a long rest, and we didn't do much.
Yeah, you haven't.
Well, but
Yeah,
I was
but these
considering
resties-
storing some spells in the ring, but I don't know if I want to do that
Understood.
if I can't recharge.
Yes, you would only do that. As you level up in the wizard. Actually, never mind. That's a sorcerer. No, you would need a long rest to recover it.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm thinking sorcerer.
And when I'm done with that, I'll go hang out by the fireplace.
Okay. You sit by the fireplace. After about an hour and a half, you realize that you're good.
Okay.
So you can continue sitting by the fireplace and just relaxing, or you can do whatever you want after that.
I assume the bar is closed.
At present, there isn't anybody there.
I think
But there
I'll-
wasn't anybody there when you woke up at about 11:30 either because of the situation.
Did Icky mention where he was going? Like, would I have known that he was heading towards the...
You would have seen where he went. He flew up to look for a bar and then flew off, so you would have seen the direction that he went in.
Okay, well, I will head off in that direction looking for some place to have a drink.
Okay. You would see Icky sitting at the bar. There would be a stool between him and there's two elderly fishermen. Or I shouldn't say elderly. Older fishermen kind of sitting next to him. They're not elderly. But they're sitting next to him. They're kind of drinking. They're talking a little bit between themselves, but they seem to just have I'm here to drink my problems away before I go fishing tomorrow kind of looks on their face. The bartender is behind the bar. Every once in a while, he will pick up a glass, wipe it clean, set it down. 10 minutes later, he'll pick up the same glass, wipe it clean, set it down. He just kind of does that as he's kind of leaning back against the fish tank. And you would also see this thing just kind of darting around the fish tank. And then you can...
Is this thing human-sized, hand-sized, finger-sized?
Inside the fish tank?
Yeah.
About fist size.
Fist.
Well, I'll go up to Icky, up to the empty stool, and ask mind if I join you.
Oh, say yes.
Please don't.
I'm drinking. Can't you see?
I immediately grab the nearest weapon-looking thing and play dead.
Are we talking Sanishi dead or real dead?
No, of course. Please join me.
So,
Alright, as you sit next to the as you sit at the bar, you look back at this fish tank, and there is about a 6-inch gap on the top where there's a wooden board. And there's a wooden board. There's a wooden board. There's a 6-inch gap, and then there's the fish tank. And on top of the board, nailed to it, you see a there's like a wooden mug, and it's beside it. There's this little sign that says "For Nora."
I called the bartender over and ordered an ale.
Oh yeah. Well, what kind of
Just
ale would
ignoring
you
the
like,
sad
sir?
song.
Is it obvious what kind of ale that they would have, or
In this kind of establishment,
Fish heads.
there probably wouldn't be more than a couple of choices.
I'll take the whatever the Bud Light is in this in this world.
Hey.
I'll take whatever Icky's having.
Do you filter it through some cheesecloth before you drink it?
He looks at the bird.
Ah.
If you want what the birds have, hold on a minute. Under the bar, lifts it, sets it down, pushes it over to you. Alright, let me know if you need anything.
Thank you.
I feel like you're done with me. That is a very good voice.
What was
I'm
that?
like, I feel like I need to apologize to you for existing. That's a really good voice.
I feel like I should look over and like Scruffy from Futurama is just like sitting there.
Apparently, he
Not
really
who I
wanted
actually, I have written down main fisherman for the voice. So I appreciate that you thought it was Scruffy because that's kind of what I was going for.
That actually, yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you. All right.
Apparently, he really wanted to just keep standing there rubbing that glass. Just really annoyed.
Well, he'd note he didn't give you that glass.
No, that's the glass is still on the bar. He gave you a different tankard.
It's the special glass.
He really likes that glass.
This is the theatrical glass.
That-
This makes you believe
But
that all
no,
other
like
glasses
you
are
see,
this clean.
he is like just scrub, set it down. A few minutes later,
Classic NPC.
yep.
That's it.
I want to say one thing.
If we take his glass
He asks everyone if they'll have what the bird's having.
All right. Anything else while you're sitting there? All right. You guys think about it.
No.
Okay.
I'm
You guys think about it.
I'm so curious about the whole like fish
Well,
tank and Nora thing, but
we can-
Icky isn't though. Icky doesn't give a shit.
Okay. If Icky doesn't give a shit, then Icky doesn't give a shit.
That's-
Think about it. If you change your mind,
All right.
we can do that
All right.
before morning. But Bill, you're up.
I see that I'm not being followed.
Give me a perception check.
15 plus something. 18.
18. You move down a couple of streets that are not in the direction of your destination, and you notice nobody behind you.
Okay, I go to the Philbug's pantry.
Okay.
Is there still a light on?
It's currently dark and the door's closed.
Rap lightly at the door.
Do a couple of quick knocks. Look around. There is a light a little further down the street, but you're actually in a pretty dark section of the street. You wait. A couple minutes go by. You rap lightly again, and then you notice movement inside. Comes up. You see Podrick? Not Podrick. Oliver.
Oliver?
Paul. I think it's Paul. Oliver Podrick.
Oliver?
Oliver.
Oliver?
Ollivander?
No, not Oliver.
Ollivander, you're alive!
There can't be two Ollivanders.
Oliver.
Oliver.
Podricker.
That
He
sounds
kind of looks out, sees you,
It's time.
nods, pulls the door open a little bit.
Late for the meeting.
What would you be doing here this time of night?
Keeping up on the agreed to meet, or at least find out when the meeting was to be held. I have questions. You said you were going to arrange something for me?
He looks past you,
No one's following.
kind of waves you in, opens the door a little bit. Let you come in.
Slide in and let him shut the door behind me.
All right. Closes it behind you. Does one more quick look out in the alleyway. I've kept up my side of the bargain. Fenton says he will meet with you 2 days from now.
Out of curiosity, would Fenton know most of the passages and whatnot the smugglers seem to be using? Or other secret passages where an attack, which is supposedly imminent.
Fenton doesn't really deal with smuggling in this town. He is the representative of his particular organization for his bosses in Magmar. He deals mostly with extortion, petty theft, things along this nature. But smuggling is not actually something that his group himself has gone into yet.
Fair enough.
If I'm not mistaken, they've specifically been told not to venture into that particular avenue of capital gain.
Very good.
But he did say he would meet you at the White Deer Inn 2 days from today.
Did you say what time of day?
He said he will get a hold of you when the time comes.
Gosh, I hope you're not in a catacomb or dead by then.
Yeah, I know. Where these guys are going.
Yeah, we're in the catacomb fighting, and some messenger runs up and says,
Who wants to see you now?
"Message for you, sir."
Nothing for you, sir.
Great, hold that thought. Duck! You didn't duck.
I didn't.
Why?
God, I just hope he's a singing telegram.
As I'm stealthing around, you're a dick.
Message for you, sir. By the way,
I
Please
finally
tell me that
found
was
you!
Clue.
Yep, it was. Absolutely was.
If I need to get a hold of someone quickly about some of the smuggling tunnels and activities that have been happening there, would you have somewhere to point me? Simply because...
I can tell you that the only person who has been in charge of the smuggling tunnels is dead. Rumor has it around town that Longico's father, who owned the glassworks before him, did his fair share of smuggling through whatever tunnel he may have. Once Longico found out about it, he forbade it. And since then, Fenton and his particular gang have not been into that business.
Very good. As long as I've got your attention, I'm changing gears entirely. Have you heard any rumors or have any concerns about happenings at the lighthouse?
Old light?
Mm-hmm.
Not any concerns. It's been unchanged since long before I got into town. I know that sometimes young children go up there to write their names, and sometimes slightly older
Understood.
couples go up there for more intimate times, but nothing that
Dick
would,
drawing is really intimate.
nothing that would make me concerned. Should we be concerned?
I'm not sure yet. A few vague clues about that possibly being something that needs to be checked out for the sake of the city's safety.
Alright.
If I find out more for sure, I'll let you know. Information flows both ways.
My safety is one of my primary concerns,
Of
so it
course
would be
it is.
appreciated.
No chance of you extending your line of credit yet.
Your band is well known in town. I suppose it depends on how much I could trust you to stay in town. And
What I would ask is some of your more useful tradecraft for the potential upcoming attack. If I were to use it, I would have to repay you for it. If it's not used, an opportunity led us elsewhere, then I would have to give it back to you. Again, it's for the safety of the city, me putting my life on the line, not your life on the line.
Well, depending on exactly which item you would be seeking, might take longer than others to create.
An injectable. For weapon code. Arrow or dagger?
I would have to do that probably a day. I can give you enough for code a weapon for about an hour, or maybe a dozen arrows.
More than 10?
On credit. Give me until not today. I would like a little bit more sleep to engaging in such activities. But
And should I use
perhaps
how much will I be indebted to?
there are a couple of options you could go with, but we'll say for that amount 60 gold.
Good to know.
It's a shame he doesn't take Closet Head.
We
You
tried.
tried.
Doesn't
You
work.
definitely tried. Stop by. When you come by to pick up said item,
It'll be so.
I would think the
Medieval world.
least suspectful would be if you purchased a healing potion above board. And I could give you both. You buy a healing potion, you get the second one on credit.
Sounds very agreeable.
Then please let me sleep, and
Of
I
course.
will see you tomorrow.
Good to see you again.
You as well. Keep up the city protecting. And he opens the door.
And I check to see if there's anyone looking first. Or anyone around looking.
Give me another perception check.
Perception! What's it?
Percept the bitch!
No.
Oh.
What'd you get?
A
It's a
0.
total of 9.
Notice there are
Total
buildings.
of-
Total of 9. Did you roll a 1?
No.
Okay,
No.
I'm just asking.
It's a 6.
6,
but
okay,
I
total of
have a
9?
+3.
Doesn't look like there's anybody out there.
Fantastic.
Looks clear.
I walk into the guard. Oh, excuse me, sir. And walk around him.
That very much felt like a snake and a mongoose having a polite conversation.
It-
Then they backed away.
Really is.
Okay. So what are you going to do?
I'm going to
Ooh,
watch
what'd
the
it land
DM
on?
and drop a 20.
20, actually.
Oh shit, that's not good for us.
No, it's good for me. I'm going to go back to my room. I'm going to spend an hour listening to Icky drop coins.
They're not glowing, and I don't know why.
Spend an hour with this wand, seeing if I can figure out what it is, what it does, if it's worth 60 gold, so I can buy a damn
Oh man,
healing
I should have
potion.
spent my second half of the time with the bottle of wine.
Yes, you should have. And
Should have,
then
but I
The
didn't.
hour only does it if it's a magical item.
Correct.
If it is not a magical item, then you spend an hour with an object.
Which I've already done.
Yes, you have. You could spend another hour with the bottle of wine if you
I
prefer.
would like to do this because even if it's not magical, Grelda would consider this time well spent.
With the bottle of wine. You look at the wine label. It's
magic.
It seems it's partially faded, but it is from a distiller, a vineyard. Excuse me.
Okay, I was gonna say.
That you have heard of before. Okay.
400 years old.
No, it
No, you said it was
is.
400 years old.
It is. It is from the Dunhall winery.
Dunhall?
You are familiar with that because that is actually
Oh, pretty
in the
bottle of wine.
relative neighborhood of Whistledown. It is within a day's travel of Whistledown. They only do wine. This is a winery that has been around for 600-700 years, and this vintage is easily 300 or 400 years old.
They only do box wines, though.
Oh, damn it.
that's what, about 3 hours?
Hmm?
That
Whistle
takes me
down?
up. No.
Oh, you.
That takes me up
Oh.
to about 3 hours.
I'll say that. About 3 hours. So that probably takes you about 5:30.
I will sit in my room and concentrate on my newfound companion. Not asking questions, not making demands, just keeping my mind open to teachings.
Your wife telling you to check your phone. Sorry. Your wife, my sister, just texted me and said to let my fellow geek know to check his phone.
Okay. In the meantime, I'm looking for a fancy weapon. The halberd is in here. I couldn't remember the other weapon that you told me to look at.
Polearm. Halberd is just a version of a polearm.
Right. I couldn't find I found silvered weapons and special weapons, but I don't think that's them.
No, it's just a well-made halberd. There's nothing. It's not silver. It's not special.
The shittiest halberd and the best made halberd have the same stats?
They just look different. They would be worth different amounts. It looks like it could be it could almost be a ceremonial weapon with how nice it looks. Mm-hmm. So it could be worth more, but it's not going to attack better just because it looks nicer.
So if I was not in a group, Grelda would try and sell it because Sasha. But being in a group, she would wait and see if anyone else wanted it or if everyone was fine with us just having lots of beer money. So I don't do that because I don't have time. But she will not sell it.
Okay. While Bill's checking his phone. See if you guys are doing anything else.
Please, someone be curious about the fish tank.
Can you remind me why I have these?
No.
Let me see those. Those are spell scrolls that you have.
I know they. This
okay.
guy's a magic.
Spell scrolls.
Yeah,
just to make sure everybody understands.
For Nora.
Spell scrolls. Anybody can read what is on the spell scroll and cast said spell at the level that it's on the scroll. No matter what your intelligence level is, anything like that, doesn't matter. You read what's on it. It casts fireball or whatever the spell is, and then all the writing on the spell disappears. Spell crumbles. Spell scrolls crumbles. If you, as a wizard, were to spend an hour copying the spell scroll into your spell book, that would become part of your known spells in your spell book, and the writing on it would disappear as part of the transference. So you can cast it, you can copy it, you can't do both.
Is the transferring something I could do while sitting in a bar, or would I need to be?
No, because you would actually have to. And it costs. There's a cost associated with it. You need so much ink. You need ink and paper worth so much to be able to copy it into your spellbook, and it takes a certain amount of time. I believe it's per level of spell.
Okay.
But if it's something you wanted to do, you dig a little further into it.
So, I figure I'm enough of a bird.
Did your predatory instincts kick in?
Yeah, and like I'm drinking enough. I'm just kind of like, so like this is my hook for being able to ask about this. I just had things like, what would get Icky to ask about it? So there's this fish-sized thing like darting around, and so
since you've been sitting there for so long, you see it's actually it looks more like an eel, like it's long.
Okay.
And it's got basically it looks exactly like an eel except for the head. The head actually has 6 prongs that come out of the top of it, and on the bottom, it's got a mouth that actually opens up like this, and there's teeth lined on both sides. So it actually got like a kind of an oval-shaped mouth, and it opens up, and there's teeth, and it's just kind of it'll dart out, and then it'll go hide behind something, and then it'll come dart out, and then it'll go hide behind something.
Somewhat yonic with teeth.
Something along those lines.
Nice vocab usage.
Bill, as you are sitting there meditating, you after about 45 minutes of not moving, you feel the hairs on the back of your neck tingle slightly.
I'm gonna die.
And in your mind, you hear a voice kind of starts as though at first it starts as though there's sounds all around you, and then it kind of coalesces, and all it says is, and then it tails off, and that's all you hear.
To blade.
So what I'm hearing.
Obviously, he was cheating in a game of cards, and he got caught.
Sorry.
Grant is
I
going to come
tried,
and
but
kick his
I
And
ass.
root through his pockets for loose change.
Okay, anyway. Do you guys do anything else? Or is everybody-
I'm curious enough about the eel thing to ask the bartender about it. Or, when he comes and say my last beer that I'm picking up at this point after I've been there for like 2-3 hours. It's like I'm drunk enough to ask me like
I'll do 2 silver from you for drinking. By the way. So it was 4. I said 5 from you.
4.
4 from you would be about 2 from you because you joined.
Or was it 3?
All right. No, it was 4. You are correct.
2.
So I the bartender asked me before.
No, he's been kind of looking at you, and as you set it down empty, he's leaning back with his cup. He just kind of looks at you, nods, glances down, then gets you another one, fills it up, goes back cleaning that same glass.
So as he hands me the latest filled glass, I was just like, excuse me, but what is this creature?
He follows your hand back towards the fish tank, looks at you, and for the first time you actually see an expression on his face. He's like, you want to know about Nora, do ya? This is our pride and joy at the Hagfish. That's Nora there.
Is Nora the hagfish?
Of course, Nora. I know you haven't been in town very long, but Nora is the whole reason this bar exists. She grants us the best alcohol, the best drink, and the best gambling.
You're not there. Don't blow up.
I know, but I need to know what they've been drinking.
Do you think that this is fish beer?
I
Told you.
That's not fish beer, but we do. And actually, as he starts talking about Nora, you see the 2 gentlemen beside you kind of perk their head up and look at you, and then the guy, the people playing the card games all turn their head and look at you. It's like, it's not fish beer, but we do have a wager in this bar. And he grabs. He reaches under the bar, and you hear coins crinkling.
Coins don't
That was
crack.
a nice crinkle
Not
sound.
crinkling. I
I
apologize.
don't think
I
the
misspoke.
coins crinkle.
There we go. That's the sound I want to for. And he pulls up a sack and 1 tankard. And he pulls down the cup from anyone who can drink 1 tankard of Nora's water gets this. Costs you 1 silver. And as you can see, hasn't been done in a while.
What's so special about Nora's water?
Let's just say it tests what kind of
Bird.
person you are.
I'm a bird person. I know.
What kind of stomach do bird people have?
Is it alcoholic water? That's all he really wants to know. If there was a fish that peed alcohol, we would be in trouble as a group.
Yeah, you know.
Where are you going?
So
Fishing.
I'm sitting
going
here
fishing.
too, right?
Yeah. No, he's basically
Yeah.
he's talking to Icky, but you're sitting right beside him, so he's basically.
I took out a silver and I say I'm in.
Oh!
I have to say, I didn't really think a gnome would be up for this, but
Racism already!
And in a
But
seedy
you-
bar, who would have thought?
Nobody would have thought.
when he
that.
looks at you, he
Where are you
pulls
going?
the silver piece towards him, opens up the bag, drops it inside. You're my kind of gnome. Grabs, he has the cup. He
my.
reaches in, he
He's got a
scoops
kind.
up,
No
pulls it out. You
lie.
can just see water like overflowing. Like it is as full as it can get. And he sets it down in front of you. He says, "You have to drink the whole thing."
Thank you. Put down
Okay.
for 2 hours.
Under the bar, without him seeing, can I cast a cantrip?
What cantrip?
Prestidigitation? I don't know how to say it.
Is that
Prestidigitation.
Supercalifragilistic.
somatic? Is that verbal? If it's somatic, you can do it like with your hand down. If it's verbal, then he's gonna see you mouth something,
I
which is
can't-
what happened before.
I can't believe you cheated a drinking game. That's all I'm gonna throw out there.
I feel like I did it before.
How can you cheat?
Some you did that. I think you did that in front of Longico because you.
Yeah.
He's gonna try
The wife
to.
disapproves.
We'll find
The
out
only
if he
other
can
time that
succeed.
somebody's cheated at something was Bill, and he got caught.
Yeah, he did.
You cheated at cards. He tried cheating at a card game. Very, very first session.
No, I didn't
I-
get caught
He's
that.
cheating at a card
later.
game.
I was trying to help that kid win that stupid
The-
prize for the girl,
the-
the hammer,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
hammer.
or rock, or whatever it was. Hammer. For
Didn't
a
you
rock
go and
or-
play cards?
I did, and that's where I redeemed myself, and I ended up walking away with 4 gold.
Okay. No, it was.
But before that,
It was the.
the guards were looking at me like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I gotta go.
Can I also, while he's looking this up, just say, Icky points behind the barkeep at the giant fish tank, which apparently houses a single living being, and says, "What's that?" And the bartender goes, "Oh, Nora! Are there sometimes other things in the tank? I need to know."
Sometimes.
Well, he didn't
patrons-
say. He said, "What's that?" He didn't say, "What's that thing in the tank?" He just said, "What's that?"
How do I tell?
You guys, how did they get in there?
Components. VS is verbal and somatic. So somatic is hand waving.
Sorry, I just want to tell you that I set out snacks for people.
Oh, thanks. Apparently there's snacks.
Ooh.
Aw.
First break
Thank
snacks.
you.
Verbal and somatic, so it would need both. So if you want to cast a verbal spell, like he's staring right at you, so you can do it,
Your back
you would
better
need.
now?
I would need a deception roll.
Um,
Because you're
Okay.
basically you're
Remind me.
mouthing a
That's not my
spell
dice, I'm
at
sorry.
him without him knowing it's a spell. So you can do that. I would need a deception roll though.
It does seem like I should be able to like pick the mug up, and my mouth would be hidden.
You know, if I would give you advantage on it, because you still have to talk. But if you do it with the mug in front of your face, blocking part of it, you would still hear it. So if you want to do that, I'll give you advantage on that roll.
This is a murder bar. Are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah.
I swear to God, if you draw me into a fight.
Then
I'm glad I have the monk next to me.
Won't save you.
Icky will be like, "I never met this man before in my life."
It's not a Sinishi.
Yeah, Sinishi,
It's not a
Sinishi would have
Grilda.
you back. If only you'd invited Sinishi.
it's true.
Alright, I don't know how to find anything on this.
What are you looking for?
Yeah.
Like what my deception.
It would be skills.
I mean, my rolls will.
If you look at the bottom right, there
Plus
should be-
one.
Why is it? I can be intimidating, and that might.
Is that an updated sheet? Just making sure you're.
Yeah, because we might not have an updated sheet there.
I can
could
tell
work,
you
though. That
what
could be enough.
I'm saying, guys.
Well, exactly. Tis very slow, my good man.
Guys, and your deception is +1. Yes.
It'd be one of those things where you just kind of look over and
Ah,
say, hey,
okay, it's this button
Can I
right
eat
here.
these? can I eat this one?
Deception.
The human?
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
No.
Yeah.
don't-
That like
Don't
that
eat
six-sided die button
You don't
is
know
how you get
what's
around.
Honestly,
to
I
the
really
deception.
enjoyed.
I went to
the,
something else, but I didn't
efficiency.
think skills.
Sometimes that doesn't have
Yeah.
skills in it.
Beautiful.
I've hit the six-sided die button and it does not have
Like
skills
one
in
of
it
the
sometimes.
half-orc
Tonight?
traits. I was
No,
like,
just
Oh,
in
right.
general.
one of the things that drew me.
No, I know D&D Beyond's not
I was
perfect.
like, yes.
What is your intimidation?
19.
Holy
Oh, damn.
buckets!
I'll take the 19.
19 + 1, so that's 20. Okay. So what are you going to do with prestidigitation?
It says I can clean or soil an object, so I will clean
Yeah.
the water.
I have a +6.
Ooh, clever, clever, clever.
I mean, I'm a fighter, so I'm obviously mostly about hitting people.
Exactly.
I like it.
Like my
He
athletics
was not
is
expecting
+6.
Perfect. So I intimidate the person when you stand next to him.
Yeah, you intimidate them. I'll stand next to them
Don't.
and try to hit them.
Ooh, you don't want to mess with that one. Why? Did you see what she did to the last one? Last what? Well, the last orc that came in is pretty bad. I mean,
Alright.
she eventually got most of the blood out of her hair. So.
You're practicing grifting. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan.
Sinishi, no one else is going to be your leader, but I'm a little bit sad.
Alright. You would. It doesn't. You would clean the water, but it's not going to change what's in the water. Like,
So there wouldn't be
Trying
any
to
more shit in it.
But if he doesn't know that,
It would.
it could be fun
Still
to watch.
be-
it would.
I imagine if he as a character were covered, like he'd fallen in a ditch that someone had done some stuff in,
Get some dirt
and
on
he
him.
used this on himself, he
It would clean.
he would no longer have dirt or stuff on him.
Yeah, wouldn't it remove all the impurities from my clothes?
Enough to make the clothes look clean.
So they wouldn't have mud, they wouldn't have stuff, they wouldn't have bacterial infection.
Yeah, I thought I read
But it
that
doesn't
it's
say
like,
it gets rid of infection. It just says it cleans. So it would take enough out of the water to make the water crystal clear. Not necessarily it would take everything that's
so
in the
clean
water
means
out of
visually
it.
clean and not like filter clean?
Because it wouldn't it's not a like an
Depoisoner?
anti-Ebola spell. For lack of a better term.
Yeah.
You should have used your anti-Ebola spell.
You know what? I'll allow it just because I find this extremely interesting. Alright, but the dirt has to go somewhere.
Oh.
It doesn't make it vanish, so all the impurities that you're cleaning out of the water have to go somewhere.
Does he
Where
get to
would
pick
you
where
like
the,
them
oh,
to go?
He gets to pick.
Icky's beak.
Oh, come on.
And remember, this person is looking at you. So, you can do that, but they come out of the water and they have to go somewhere. And I'll let you do it.
Is the water visibly dirty?
It's cloudy.
It's cloudy? Okay.
But you wish you had a cheap pouch right about now.
He did say the aquarium looked very clean. And being an
Yeah.
aquarium owner, I know that takes effort.
so Icky would have noticed that I was doing something, right? He's sitting right next to me watching me.
If he wants to try and
Yeah.
notice, he could roll a perception check.
That is, yes, I would like to, because like I'm very interested
Alright.
in this whole.
He just rolled a deception check of 20. You have to equal, or you have to beat this 20
Wow.
in order to notice.
But he's sitting next to him, so he doesn't get the...
and
Oh,
and this-
okay.
No, you're the mug, like,
He's not the
You're
target
right
of my
in it.
deception,
Yeah, okay.
though.
so it's still, what was that?
He's not the target of my deception.
But you're still trying to deceive, like, the whole point is hiding what you're doing, so he would still have to roll
That
against
is
that.
a valid point, because otherwise the entire bar would see what you're doing and the barkeep
Right.
wouldn't.
Okay.
So if you roll a 21 or higher
Okay.
on your
I mean, like,
perception,
and to be fair, I'm not looking for like deception.
No,
I'm
you
just
don't.
like I'm in. I'm
holy
into, like,
shit, you're gonna drink it?
You're just
Yeah.
watching closely.
Alright, so yes, roll a perception.
Nope, that was a 7.
That was a 7.
I
So
don't
no,
even- I don't
as
even know
far
what's
as you're
going on.
concerned, he's drinking the water. Alright, so what are you gonna do with what comes out of the water?
How much stuff is going to come out of the water? Like how?
You don't know. Because you don't know exactly
It's
what's
probably
in
going
the
to be
water.
less volume than the water itself has.
Put it like down your
I think
shirt,
odds
so when
are
you
it will be
stand
less than a
up, you'll
tankard
be,
of
like,
stuff.
shaking
Yes.
it out your way.
But you don't actually know
I'm
what's
sick.
you don't know what you're cleaning out of the water. You're cleaning it out, but you don't know what you're cleaning out. So
So if you dribble it down like into your neckline and it's corrosive, you may still die.
But that's such a classic move, and you have it right here.
I set the tankard down on the bar for a second, and
all right.
I'm gonna get chips and queso. All right,
All right, guys.
drinky.
Drink. What are you going? Okay, so you said you set it down, and you stood up,
So yeah.
and he
so
told you the last person that stood up fell over.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Oh, yeah. As you're
There,
gonna.
there was vomiting.
Be careful. The last guy that stood up to do this ended up on his back. Sitting down might be the best option for you.
I don't know. For some reason, I feel like I just need to stand. So I stand up, and I'm pretty short, right? So I'm like under the bar.
You're not under the bar, but I would say you're probably even with. You're like the top of your head might be peeking up. Like you can see. It depends on where you stand, but you're
If you
relatively
head up,
close.
Well, so
just
I
right, you can rest your nostrils on the bar.
I reach up and I take the tankard down, and when I bring it down, then I do the spell.
Oh, sorry.
If he was a rogue, you'd make him do sleight of hand.
What was that?
If he was a rogue, you'd make him do sleight of hand.
It
Well, it's
depends.
not really.
Yeah, he's.
It's a spell. It's not really his hands. But if you're going to do this in the open, remember there are 2 people sitting at the bar, and there are 3 people playing cards who are all watching you. So if you're going to do this, possibility they could see you do this. Just so you know. Because it's not just the 2 of you. The bartender can't see you, but other people might.
And I'm watching.
I'm not saying they're going to stop you. I'm not saying they're not going to stop you. It might rag on you, they might not. I don't know. But if you're going to do it,
Just have to go for it.
That'd be racist.
I know, right?
no, that's a cock. Okay. You do this?
You are very mean.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, me neither.
Sludge, and it's as you cast the spell, you pull it out and you notice it's a ball about yay big, 1.5 by 1.5 inch ball of sludge comes out, just kind of like plops on the ground. Okay.
Then I
Again,
drink the tankard.
Icky does not notice the.
You failed the deception.
Right.
But that
He
was for
failed the
first
perception. That was for the spell. Give me another perception check
Notice the
if you see this happen to your
Or hear
because you
it,
might.
perhaps.
It depends on where you're focused.
It's probably not it because let me check here because I rolled a 14
Oh, I think you have like a plus. I'm assuming
plus
a plus 2.
Yeah, so
A plus 2?
I assume your focus is on him, though.
Yeah, I mean,
I
you're
just
watching him, you're looking at him. Oh, yeah, you would know this. Like, that's a 16. You would see this happen. Like, you would see something come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see him cast the spell, like, you didn't see his words. You just saw something dark fall. You don't know what it was.
Okay.
You just saw something dark come out.
But I noticed enough to make the connection that it had came from the tankard.
You saw something, like, slosh out of the tankard and fall on the ground. You didn't see him cast a spell, though.
Okay.
So, as far as you know, something came out of the tankard.
Okay.
You didn't get to see what it was, though.
Okay.
All right. Drink the water. Slowly down. You kind of leave it over, staring at you. You finish it. What do you do?
I put the mug back on the bar. How do
As
I
you're
feel?
drinking it, clear, pristine. Like, this is like mountain stream water.
No deer pee, though.
No deer pee. Set it back down. He looks at you. He waits. You gonna do anything? Like he's just staring at you.
I just act like I'm kind of waiting for something to happen, and like I feel a little funny. Then kind of hold on to the bar like I need some support to stand.
Give me a deception check. You're lying.
I might be lying. I don't know.
No, you're lying because you just drank some water.
He just drank some
He
water.
had some beer before the water.
But yeah, I've been having beers, so acting a little drunk shouldn't be out of the realm of possibility.
You're not acting drunk. You're acting sick. Give me a deception check.
I'm sorry.
Drunk and
I
sick are
I appreciate your
very related.
Well, it depends. Give me a deception check, sir. I'm not saying it's going to be a high difficulty.
10.
10. He looks at you. As soon as you grab the bar, you're leaning. His eyes perk up. He looks at you. Look, and then you kind of steady yourself. Well, I'll be damned. It's been a year and a half since anybody did that. He goes, "What's your name?"
Geisen.
Oh, Geisen. Well, pulls out the sack, throws the coins down in front of you. How do you, Geisen? How do you spell that?
Gisen.
All right. Pulls out a long knife. Pulls over a stool, steps up on it, turns away from you, and you see on a wood beam that goes across the top of the bar, right above him. There's a wood beam. And as you look, you notice there's names carved in it. And you count, there's 28 names. He kind of leans over, starts carving your name into it. Comes down, grabs the tankard, goes back up on the side. I wasn't sure when we'd get to add another name to that one.
I take the bag of coins and I take enough coins out to buy the bar around.
Which is like
7 people.
That
That would be.
is smart generosity right there.
Yeah.
That's about. If it's just one round, it's about 8 silver. There is. As you look through, you count all the silver pieces in there. There's probably about 42, 43 silver in there.
In a year, 43 people tried.
Doesn't seem like something that would be very attractive.
So
to
you
try,
just
though.
saw him.
I guarantee you,
Drink
after
this,
watching
get
you
the money,
succeed,
and
the
get his
whole
name.
bar is gonna try.
Yep, and
But there's no money left.
And
Doesn't
I'm
matter.
really wishing that I hadn't noticed anything about the ball. Because, like, out of character here, like, I was set from the beginning. Like, because, like, as soon as you start talking about the mug, it's like, okay, I have to do this. But now Geisen jumps in and does it, and I was like, okay, whether he wins or loses, I'm in on this. Like Icky's gonna do it. This excites him, and he has no his concept of money is fucky. So the fact that he's not doing this for anything, because it would just be like, all right, I'm putting my coin in the bag. Let me go for it.
You have to decide if you think Icky would know what that was.
I don't. No, he wouldn't. But the question is whether or not he's sensitive to tainted things. If it looked like it was like a big did it? All right. All right. Icky looks down to where this thing dropped on the floor. What does he notice?
It looks like kind of the sludge you get from the bottom of a dirty pond.
Mm-hmm.
Looks a little bit like that. Like just a little bit of sludge. Like I said, it's
Okay.
like this much.
Mm-hmm.
So when you hit the floor, it's spread.
Mm-hmm.
So it just looks like a little bit of it looks like a little bit of sludge.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like clear water, but it's not like it's a giant ball. It's like acid or anything like that.
All right. So Icky drains the remainder of whatever is left in his cup, slams it down, puts a silver on the table, says, "I want a glass of the water."
2 in a night. That's not usually how it goes. He grabs the silver, puts it down right beside yours, grabs the cup.
And then I love
Big
that
slug
because
fills it up, sets it down in front of you. All right, my avian friend, let's give this a
If
shot.
I look around, how closely are people watching him and not me?
They're focused on him, as far as you can tell.
I'm just trying to figure out if I can do the same thing for him. I don't know. I feel
Do you
like
have to can you do it on something that's in a range, or do you have to be touching it?
There's a range to it.
Okay.
But I guess without you knowing that I'm going to do it, the odds of hiding the fact that something's coming out of it's probably not very good.
If you're holding a glass up to you and something comes out of it,
Yeah, I guess I
I'd be
better.
very startled,
Alright.
personally.
All right. So
I just ask you, are you sure you want to do that for 1 silver?
But yeah, exactly. There's no longer a pot to win,
Yeah.
which is
I
perfect
would-
for Icky.
Yeah.
I would really consider not doing that because there's only 1 silver left in the bag.
No.
Please don't die, Icky. It's just a non-character thing, so I'm not there.
Well, it's just like, don't worry, guys. I'll be fine. And I put it back.
okay. Give me a Constitution check.
Oh.
Oh no, wait. A Constitution saving throw.
Oh my god.
So
I-
what
That's
do
a different. There's a saving throw section.
I'm
Okay.
curious to know what everyone else's
That-
Constitution
so-
saving.
Me
Oh
too.
wow.
Will that be under ability
It should still be
save
under-
senses?
Yes.
Constitution saving
A
throw?
saving throw. Hold on.
Okay, yep, okay, I see it.
Girl, you can drink some really
I've got
shitty beer.
a plus 4 modifier for
you
that.
certainly could.
+2.
Okay.
All right, so let's give it a go.
Holy shit!
I
you
know,
should do
right?
this.
I should be doing
17.
this.
17.
Wow.
All right.
Nice.
So as you drink it, it is thick. Like the liquid is thick, not syrupy, but it's much thicker than any alcohol you've ever drank.
Okay.
And it is horrifically slimy and foul. Like you have not had anything quite as disgusting and distasteful as what you are currently shoving down your gullet.
All right.
You finish it, slam it on the table. both your hands on it, look around, and 5 seconds, your stomach starts rumbling. 10 seconds, you turn your head and just vomit. All like projectile vomit all over the floor. Everything you've had in the last 24 hours is now currently on the floor next to you, and you just feel like it's a bird. Yeah. And he leans over and he goes, "That's more what I'm used to." Another one down. Throws it in the bag, puts it under. He goes, "Don't worry. Don't worry." Slides some ale over, like some beer over to you. He's like, "That'll help."
All right, so now that I've vacated everything from my stomach, how am I feeling?
You're feeling kind of sick. After you've been drinking, you throw up. You know, you just kind of your stomach gets that like wobbly. That's the best way I can describe it. A wobbly feeling in your stomach. That's how you feel.
Okay. But this is something that like
it doesn't.
It'll pass.
It doesn't hurt you. It's like throwing up from too much alcohol. You know, it sucks. It's not gonna hurt you.
But it's not going to prevent me from finishing this beer over the course of the next like 20 minutes.
Is it like
not particularly
throwing up after too much alcohol in your late teens, early 20s, or
it's
throwing
like
up after too much alcohol in your 30s?
Like he's 22 and he drank too much.
Okay, that makes
So I
a
mean,
huge
you
difference.
feel like shit, and that taste is just in your mouth.
Yeah.
Well, that's about it.
So you're not even going to be
so
fucking
like,
hungover the next day.
So I'm like sip my new beer. Just a little, get that taste, like some other taste in my mouth. I just like I don't have words, but I just like give guys just a little like nod of respect, like shit.
I tell Icky, that was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. And I reach into the bag and I give him like kind of a small handful of the coins.
I don't really get it, but it's like I.
Oh, yeah, so you had 32 silver left after you bought the bar a round.
And I just paid a silver to throw up.
Yes, you did.
That's less than a lot of people pay.
All right, so
I don't know. I only paid 4 silver to get like crap beer.
That you don't have anymore.
Yeah, now I don't. Now I have only 1 crap beer in me.
Is it like 10 silver to a gold, or how
Yes.
does the...
Except for Electrum, because Electrum's done. It's 5 gold to an Electrum piece.
Not arguing that.
10 gold to a Platinum, 5 gold to an Electrum. Electrum's stupid.
That's so
5.
It's like a $2 bill.
It's
Like, this is really dumb.
But when you get one, you keep
five
it.
5 silver for an Electrum.
I believe. No, 5 gold for an Electrum.
That's not what this says.
What does that say? Is that 5 silver to an Electrum?
Assuming
Okay,
that
5 silver? Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. I knew it was 5 to something. I apologize. Terrible.
you're
Wait,
icky.
no.
You're icky now.
No.
Come on.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
So I give him like, I don't know, my hands are pretty small, like 6 silver.
Okay. So you just got 6 silver back. Alright, so then you spend, a couple more hours drinking. Nothing else of note happens. And you all end up meeting up back at the Rusty Dragon right about 7 o'clock in the morning.
Sinishi, would you say that our time together has deepened our bond?
Dude,
Has your friendship leveled up?
Exactly.
Yes.
That's what I'm asking. All right, we are now on friendship level 3 of like 10.
Does that unlock your first combo attack?
4 at this point.
4. I'm on board with 4. Because actually, yeah, in our last playthrough, totally.
Yeah.
We are at friendship level 4.
I will annotate that. Or annotate friendship
What
levels.
is, I mean,
Coconut, dark chocolate, almonds.
Oh.
Anybody?
No, thank you.
I will ask, but thank you.
Bill?
No, thank you.
I'm not a coconut fan.
Yeah, it's the coconut.
What's wrong with you guys?
I like coconut.
Coconut? It's not so good.
It's delicious.
Nah, that's it.
Alright, so you're all meeting back up at the
Is
Rusty
it-
Dragon.
Fresh coconut? Like, right out the coconut?
Like, did I just go up to a tree?
Yeah,
and...
that's what I'm asking. Did
Like,
you-
he puts
That's
some-
not
coconut
fake
is
coconut
so
flavor. It's not
good.
coconut snow cone. That's not what we're talking here.
Put the lime in the coconut.
and to shake your dog up.
Alright, so you come back to the Rusty Dragon. It is more of what you expect in the morning. There's a handful of people eating breakfast, chatting. There's
What did breakfast look like?
breakfast looks like
Food.
bread, pork sausage, some bacon, little eggs.
I ordered some.
Alright. Are you guys sitting at a table?
I am. Whether or not they join me is irrelevant. That sausage looks good.
I mean, I'm assuming Icky and I are. You want to head back to the
maybe,
dragon?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because you said you're meeting up about 7 o'clock. Unless anybody else wants to do anything else, I'm assuming you all come into the Rusty Dragon right about 7 o'clock.
Yeah. My plan had been unless my timeline got shifted because of sludge drinking, the plan was to head back to the Rusty Dragon like an hour and a half beforehand and just like hang out in my room and rest.
Cream.
Which after the evening I've had seems like maybe prudent.
A short rest would be a good idea. Alright, so you end up resting, you come down. Basically, everybody meets in the tavern section of the Rusty Dragon together after your various mornings.
I sit down at Grelda's table and order some breakfast as well.
While he does that, I pull out the halberd.
Halberd.
H-A-L-B-R-E.
The sharp, sticky weapon.
Isn't
It's
it
Hal's
E-R-D?
bread.
I bring out some bread.
Halberd.
I thought it was
Bread on a
E-R-D,
stick.
but I could be wrong.
The pokey type of
The
bread.
pokey bread. I bring out the pokey bread, and I say, "This appears to have no magical or special attributes other than
You're right.
being very pretty."
Halberd.
Halberd. Oh. I bring out Hal.
Yeah, Hal is the part we can all agree on.
I agree. So I say, basically, this has no magical attributes, but it did come from a fancy statue. Would we like to sell and split the profits? Doesn't even care what happens to it? Question mark.
Personally, I wouldn't use it for anything, so I'm fine with selling it.
Selling it is fine with me.
I just want to kill some goblins, yo.
Fist bump. Level 4 friendship. Boom.
Wait,
So
you're like
is
a
that-
melee
is that
character.
the move that
Would you not
unlocked
be
with level
interested
4,
in it?
the fist bump?
Two-handed.
Mm.
Dual-wielding mofo.
I mean, like, you gave me beer once, what friendship level are we?
I make beer. We're acquaintances.
Tarn practices sleight of hand and pulls the wand out of the air. Oh, you dick.
What did you get?
Well, it was on an 18, then it flipped to a 2.
It did.
So,
That's exactly what happened.
That means you split the two, right?
Even
No,
I
that means
know
that means
fails.
turning. He's watching you guys, and he goes like this, in order to pull it from in his sleeve, and it catches for a second. He goes like this, and it's like halfway out, and he just holds it. He goes,
It's a 10.
"It's a 10." Yeah, that's still happening.
What do you
It is a
have
fourth
there,
one.
Tarnin?
Fortune 1 extra
It's
difficulty.
that wand. Yeah.
Did you find anything out about it?
A few things. It's not really impressive, but I bet you it can make you smile.
Oh, you already did with that
Put it in his butt.
show.
What just happened?
What's
I
going
feel
on?
like I missed something very important.
Was the wand.
No. Yep.
Are you talking about something else, Captain?
No, we're good.
Okay.
Grelda just eats her eggs.
Fantastic.
He's slightly horrified.
Contact that I was trying to get a hold of doesn't have any information for us on the lighthouse being anything, and the smuggling section, individual who was smuggling is now currently deceased, so we don't really have anyone who knows all the ins and outs of those tunnels.
How did you die?
A large amount of glass, wasn't it?
Drink some
No,
water
he said
in
it
a
was.
bar.
That was Longico. He said it was Longico's father. So it would have been Amiko's grandfather.
Amigo's grandfather is not in the picture at the moment, so I couldn't tell you.
So the person who knew about the tunnels is Amiko's grandfather?
Yes.
Have we considered asking Amiko?
Gung, gung, gung!
It's ridiculous.
You're welcome to. I'm sure she'll be around serving breakfast anytime now. She was doing much better.
For all
than
the stupid ideas.
She was
It
totally
has
mostly
been.
dead.
It has been about
a day.
24 hours since she was literally bleeding out.
I've watched many
And she's
animes.
not
This is
serving
fine.
breakfast yet? What the hell?
So no, she's not currently in the room.
She's probably just heavily bandaged somewhere.
Cutting
Bethana
potatoes.
did tell you that she would be in her room recovering, and if you needed her to let Bethana know.
Okay, so
She
the
can
fact
take you
that
there.
this conversation actually bore fruit means Grelda is eating her breakfast faster.
Very good.
Is
Is there a piece of toast on
Not a
her
bit.
plate that she's not eating?
Say what now?
Is there a piece of toast on that plate that you're not eating?
What, you mean this?
I'm small. I'll hand him a piece of toast.
I'll take just the toast. That's good for now. I don't need a whole plate if we're about to go do something. Which I'm assuming that's what.
Yeah, the whole plate of food. I got
Or she's just really hungry.
sausage and eggs, the plate itself, part of the table.
Like he sashes his wing back. Like
Okay, cool. What's the plan, guys?
We see if we can talk to Amiko.
Following you, Captain.
Yes, my
Is Bethana serving breakfast or?
my
No.
leads did not pan out. I'm hoping that you
It
guys
is,
did something more than
the
just
same-
stand around all night. Did you find
like,
anything out?
Late teen
My axes are really shiny.
Well,
gentleman
that's a good start.
that was there.
You're
He's the
well
one
sharpened,
who
ready to
she's been
kill
ordering
something.
around to get you stuff. You've seen
Preferably
him
goblins, but
numerous
something.
times. He's been fed you,
That's a good
he's
start.
poured you drinks,
You can see yourself.
delivered
now.
your food. Never really.
He was nice but unmemorable because he did
In
not
them,
have
not
an
on them?
accent.
This is true. He did not have an accent.
It's kind of a trick question.
All right. Well, should we ask the
Captain, you made my head hurt.
gentleman at the bar if he knows where
Not
Bethana
intentionally.
is?
Yep. Hey! Sir!
Yes.
Could you please show us where Bethana's room is? My accent changes as the night goes on.
but it's morning, dear.
Let's
she's-
get Bethana and see Amiko right away.
Hold on just a second. And he turns around and goes in the kitchen. And then the door swings open and Bethana comes out. She's got like the apron on and everything like that. Her hair back in a bun.
I know we needed to see Amiko. but
Oh,
I
I heard you guys wanted to see me. I'm busy cooking breakfast. What is it? Let's make it quick. I've got work to do.
Your breakfast was amazing.
As it should be, thank you.
We're looking for Amiko. You mentioned she might be in a room. I know she's in bad shape, but we have a very important question to ask her.
Well, she's definitely be in her room, but if she wasn't for you guys, she'd be dead. So she said if you ever wanted to talk to her, just to send you on up. So go ahead, top of the stairs, into the hall, take a right. Door's unlocked.
Bethana's my favorite.
I don't know, man.
Ever.
Going to the top of the stairs at the top of the morning seems a little racist.
We just got transported to Bob
And
and
there's not
Joey's
gonna be anything
place
else. I gotta make
in
breakfast for the rest of
Nicolay
these people.
Forest.
I snap off a sharp salute and let her go on her way.
All
We're
right,
gonna get to
thank
the
you.
top of the stairs, however. I'm not sure which way is left or right, so I'm just...
I've been to this place in the Northwoods before. Just so you know.
I've been
I've been to this place in the Northwoods.
Apparently, Jill has
Sean.
met Bethana.
After
In the Northwoods.
In the Northwoods.
Yes.
After she pauses and tries to debate with herself silently which way is left or right, I lead the rest of the way to the room.
Okay. You go to the door. It is like there's rooms on the hall, on the sides of the hall, but it's the only one at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So you go there. You get to the door. He like you stop. You're looking back and forth. He turns and goes, and you're like, "That's where I was going." And you follow.
And
What
I
I meant to do.
kind of let her pass. I kind of step
Oh, no.
aside so
No,
she can pass.
I don't pass. I follow you. I've followed you through so many dungeons. I'm okay following.
Like, I told you it was this way, Sasha.
Sasha.
Okay, so you're all standing in front of the door.
Knock gently.
You're not going to stealth through it?
Not this time.
Yeah, come on in.
Open the door. Let the crew in.
And she's laying on it's a large room, but a relatively simple room. It's got one large like feather bed in the middle against the far wall. It's got a dresser, you know, just like a 6-drawer dresser with a mirror on the top of it, and then a chair, a high-backed chair, and a small little coffee table next to it. It looks like it'd be for reading. She's in bed, the cover's pulled up to here. She's got like a breakfast tray. She's just slightly sitting up. You can see black eye still cuts on her face. Just like she looks in rough shape. She's not dead, but she definitely looks like she took a beating.
Grelda immediately goes forward, doesn't touch her because Grelda knows she might break her. So she stops just short of the bed and says, "We're going to kill them all."
She looks at you, she smiles, she reaches out her hand slowly, and you can see bruises on it. She passes. That'd be appreciated.
I pat Sasha, and I whisper murderous thoughts in her ear.
I barely got a chance to thank you for saving my life.
Percentage-wise, is she like still at death's door here? I mean, I thought she had a night to rest. Doesn't it give her something?
Sean's trying for reality instead of anime.
She has a night to rest, but she's also not an adventurer. So
we really only
she was literally, if you wouldn't have saved her, she would have bled out and died.
Oh yeah.
So she's in a 24-hour period. She's not going to be all.
But she's feeding herself breakfast from a tray.
If you're thinking about like if she was beaten to shit by goblins for hours, broken ribs, broken arms, not going to heal in a day. That kind of stuff. Like she was tied up. Goblins were let loose on her, and you walked in on her almost dead.
I pull out my healing kit.
This is a trade secret that I would like to know.
Some of your bandages.
By all means.
Very good.
Is that
Are things like that different
It's absolutely
universal. Okay.
I don't use the healing kit.
Okay.
She recovers. One.
Did you use sleight of
Is
hand
there
to
a
heal
is
her?
there a plus? Is there a plus with that?
No.
Or it's just a straight roll?
It's a straight roll.
Can
Okay.
anyone assist him?
So
No.
you're changing your bandages.
Hey, she's still getting a point.
And you break her other arm.
I don't have the feet to use the healing
You
kit
had
as a.
No, I'm.
such altruistic thoughts.
Well, yeah.
Does it
but
have?
never fucking
Hold on a
works.
second.
No wonder
Sorry,
you turned to
you're-
a life of crime.
Huh?
What?
What did you say?
No wonder you turned to a life of crime.
Right?
No.
It's so much easier.
You are using which spell are you using?
Healing light. And I can choose to use one.
Is he actually a sandwich maker?
Healing
Apparently.
light.
That kind
I
of
would have
sounds
been much
like
better
it
as a sandwich maker than a freaking.
They're called sandwich artists.
No.
It depends on
I
where
would not
you
have
go.
reached the artisan level.
His name isn't Eric.
Well,
Have you
to be
seen
fair,
my sleight of hand?
Artist is below
Oh,
artisan.
I just want to be sure it
That's
doesn't
true,
it
we
doesn't
haven't.
specifically it doesn't say that it's somatic or verbal or anything like that. So I was gonna make you roll like a sleight of
Sleight of
hand.
hand check?
But it doesn't specifically say it requires that, so I'm not
No,
going
it's
to. It just says it's
Can
part
we
of.
do anything that allows him to reroll?
No, I mean it doesn't.
It's
It's something you do.
Yeah,
it's
it
not
just
something. That's why.
happens.
So I'm not. You're not gonna have to roll anything.
Oh.
But like you're changing Amiko's bandages, and you place your hand on her and you cast a spell, and
well, I don't
she
even-
like
it's
looks
not
at you
even-
and she.
It's not even a touch.
No, but while you're doing it,
Okay, it just happened.
she get like you. Everybody sees her like visibly like she just go like you know when you get the shiver on
Chills?
your cold, the chill on your back. She just kind of like. And then she looks down at you. You finish changing the bandages, and she says, "Thank you."
So we're all standing around the bed, and none of us notice.
I feel like I shouldn't have watched.
He doesn't. It's not a
It's
a
not
casting
like,
spell.
oh
It
my
doesn't
gosh,
take
suddenly
verbal. It
she's
doesn't take
glowing
hand
and my
waves.
hands
It just
explode
happens.
in radiant light.
And it's an
It's a
invisible
simple-
effect. Like
Yes.
there's.
But after I double checked
Even though it's
it.
called healing light, there's no light.
Welcome to
You know what? Forget it. I don't do it.
Spell is a lie.
Jeez. Trying to be a nice guy, and I was like, "Wait, how can we out him?"
I've never seen anyone so punished by being nice in my life.
No shit, that's it. You're all gonna die. You don't realize it, but you
No,
just
it
you
literally
just crossed-
it literally just says
crossed the
you
line.
channel.
I'm
You
gonna
channel
turn
energy.
Sneak
You
to the
channel
dark side.
celestial energy to
She
heal
will be my
wounds.
apprentice,
You can
and we
heal
will
a
rule the
creature. It
universe
doesn't say
together,
anything about it taking light or
slowly
anything
killing
like that.
everything.
really slowly with my rolls.
So yeah, I mean, it definitely
You know my pain.
helps. Your sleight of hand and stuff like that is her
Eventually.
attack.
Yes.
No, her damage. You
Oh.
always hit.
That's true. I
never do
always
damage.
hit my
Okay, so
damage though.
you change your bandages.
So ridiculous.
She says thank you.
You're welcome.
So, what
Kyson had questions for you.
what can I do for you guys? I appreciate the visit, but you seem like you have a purpose.
I don't remember the connection of whose grandfather did something.
It was her grandfather.
It was her grandfather knew the tunnels.
There was a thing with the thing. I don't know.
Really
These guys were
loudly,
talking.
Grelda whispers, "Had a grandfather and I don't know about the tunnels."
Smuggling tunnels, specifically. Were you brought into knowledge on any of the smuggling tunnels that your grandfather used to do?
I haven't had anything to do with my father's business since I left.
Your grandfather.
I haven't had anything to do with the glassworks since I left when I was young.
Well, not the glassworks, the smuggling.
That's technically where the smuggling tunnels reach into the town.
I do know
Gotcha.
my
Never mind.
smuggling tunnels. I do know that my father, when he began to take over the glassworks from my grandfather, he heard things of what my grandfather used to use the basement for. He took control, put a stop to it, put up some walls, said that was not going to be how he ran his business, and that was the last I'd ever heard of it. I never saw them.
Fair enough.
Does he have any diaries or anything from that time period?
They'd probably
My
be the glassworks.
father did not get along with his father, even before he found out about the smuggling he used to do.
Seems to run in the family. Fathers and sons not getting along.
That
Unfortunately.
it does. That it does. So what kind of shape was the glassworks in, anyway? I guess it's mine now. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with it.
Kind of weird, yo. Like, seriously, I tried to figure out how that basement was put together and, like, what the logic behind the architecture was, and it made absolutely no sense. Like,
But would you say that the machines would still function and she could still run a suitable business out of it? Tarnan shaking his head, yes.
The forges were still lit.
it beats me. I have no idea. Just the basement was really weird and
That was
mazy.
below the basement.
Mm-hmm.
The basement
Okay,
was just like
yeah.
a little square.
But the sub-basement was super weird.
There will be no more glassworks. I can't use it for what my father did.
What does your
Maybe I'll-
father use it for?
Making glass.
So why can't you make
My
glass?
father was an asshole.
So why
Last
does
thing
that
I
prevent
wanted-
you from making glass?
Because I don't want to follow in his footsteps.
But making glass doesn't make you an asshole.
Use a glass hole?
No. No, I'm
All right.
disowning that
No,
one.
no. Let me
not
roll a
happening.
comedy check.
Natural
Do it,
one.
do it,
No.
do it.
A pun check?
14.
Oh!
What's my modifier on that?
Sean's ignoring us all.
I'm ignoring it.
It's fine. I do want to,
I'm.
like, out of character, I really want to know what she's planning on doing with the glassworks other than making glass.
Well, this is why Sanishi is
Selling
going down
ass.
this line, because Sanishi is fucking confused
It's now a
here.
whorehouse called the Assworks.
But that's really not
There's already a whorehouse in
what
town.
we're
It's
No.
like competing.
worried about, is it?
Maybe I can.
No matter what she's
turn
doing
it into
the glassworks, I don't think it's
museum
going to
or an art studio.
There is a very fascinating piece in one of the main rooms right now.
Maybe get rid of that before she takes ownership.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
yes, no, that sub basement would be great. You should. There's a couple rooms in there that like would be wonderful for like some pieces that play on emotions, like especially like play on like good and bad, happy and sad.
She looks very confused. Sub basement?
Captain,
There are basements below. Yes?
I think I may have confused her. I think I need to step back and let you take over again.
Very well. The tunnels have been reopened. There is a sub-basement, and there are tunnels inside that, and then there are tunnels inside the tunnels. Some lead to smuggling spots. Some led to a apparently long-forgotten jail, prison, torture area.
Miko's
All-
like, I'm not healthy enough for this shit.
All deep within.
It is a super weak torture chamber.
Yeah,
you know?
also
Yeah,
if you
the-
find water and it's weird, don't
Don't touch it.
but
She looks at you guys.
All this being said,
This
I
is
want
not the way I expected this week to go.
Man, we are going to leave, and 5 minutes later, she was like, "That was a fucking fever dream."
Who would you recommend? Do you have stone crafters or masons in this city that we could potentially get them to seal everything up very well again?
Under 60 minutes.
Actually, Sandpoint, we don't have any stoneworking.
No stone workers?
No, not in a city this small. For anything that needs to be done of that ilk, we usually have somebody come down from a guild in Magnamar.
They don't like getting stoned here.
Is that something we could entrust you to see to as we pursue this goblin infestation elsewhere? Obviously not today.
When I'm well enough, I'm just gonna find a way for that basement never to be used again, and I'm gonna gut the whole thing.
Fair enough. Anyone have any further questions for her before we let her rest?
I mean, I don't. Icky doesn't.
Grelda has a wineskin full of cider. She's like,
Cider skin.
a cider skin full of cider.
She looks at you. Pops a couple small sips, and then puts it back. I'll take a rain check on the rest of that.
Grelda winks real badly.
Somehow manages
Amiko-
to wink with
Amiko
the
looks at-
wrong eye.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
She just smiles at you.
And Grelda whispers again, really loudly, "We're gonna kill them all."
So, guys.
Make sure. I hope you do. I don't know how many goblins are left in those tribes they got together, but if they're coming here, like Suto said, I don't know how it's gonna go.
We got it.
I know how it's gonna go. They're all gonna die.
Guys, I keep hearing all this talk about a goblin raid. We haven't seen fucking anything in like a day. I'm so bored.
Gonna go to Thistletop.
That's what you're supposed to say.
I'm starting to look that way.
Do you know anyone who was a... I can't do accents, I'm so sorry. Do you know anyone?
I love your jumping
Thanks,
around
Borat.
accent. It's
He's like, yeah, we totally jumped to Slavic.
Alright.
We're fine now.
Dutch, maybe.
No,
Do
that
you
was
know
Slavic.
anyone who might have been
Oh, yeah.
some sort of worker
Dutch.
who was with your grandfather? Who might know some of his old
Social.
business.
No.
That is half. That's half Dutch, half Slavic.
I got nothing for you.
Can't say I do, but whatever you're gonna do, you need to do soon. Sudo said it was just a few days before they'd come from Thistletop.
Let's
So
go
then-
to Thistletop and kill
If we
him!
were to go to Thistletop... Oh, there we go, that's back now.
Pretty close.
If we were to go to Thistletop, how would we get there? Do you know any boats or any sheepsmen?
Sheepsmith?
Sheepsman? You are Scottish.
Like a
a
shepherd.
No,
shepherd.
she kind of looks at you a bit odd.
Did you really just go there?
She looks at you a bit odd. She's like, Thistletop
Mind if I
is
go in?
like 30 feet off of the coast.
Oh, yeah. No.
You may not
Thank
have
you.
realized this, but I'm very short.
But it's not the.
She looks at you. If you're gonna go to Thistletop, boat's probably not the best way to get
What do you recommend?
there. Walking.
I thought it was an island.
An island 30 feet off the coast.
I don't float,
guess-
lassie.
It's a little island and it's like right next to the coast.
It's like,
Can you carry me?
Okay, let's
I can
go!
toss ya.
Sold! To Thistletop!
Yes, let's kill some goblins.
We haven't discussed that. Do I have the strength to carry? I assume I can't just like, it's like, I'm gonna grab somebody with my feet and fly and everything's cool. But do I have...
There would be strength checks.
Okay.
You
Faster
might
than a
have
speeding
avian
train,
bones.
able to carry a single dwarf.
You might have avian bone syndrome.
Oh dear.
Is this like another bridge scenario where we've been wasting the whole night and you're just like, why the hell haven't they gone to
Yeah, 'cause
Thistletop yet?
I literally assumed Thistletop was like a boat ride away.
I thought it was further away than this.
I didn't think we could just
my.
like tra-la-la.
Thistletop's-
Thistletop.
Oh no, that was
It's like Thistletop's probably about 2.5 hours worth walking.
Through water.
3 if you're a dwarf.
Well, what we need to do is spend
Your
the next
best bet-
4 hours trying to find a way to cut that trip down by 15 minutes.
If you're gonna go to Thistletop, your best bet is to go north through the Nettlewoods, and
Is that through here?
Yes.
Or through, okay, so it's this way.
north, north up along the coast. out
What do you
to-
know about the Nettlewoods? See, it's stuck now.
Only that
I'm good.
there were goblins there. I don't
Are
know
they
where
full
they
of
are now.
nettles? They sting, you know.
She looks at you and just like, there are goblins. In
Got
the
it.
woods.
I'm
We're
more
on it.
worried about the nettles than I am the
I,
goblins.
I love that.
Do you know if anybody in town would have horses that we could borrow to get there faster?
I don't like horses.
There are people that you can get horses from, but you're gonna go through fairly thick woods, so I think horses would probably slow you down more than help you out.
Horses never help anyone.
I like walking better.
They bite. And they kick.
Just
And they're
my
big.
my only concern about going there is it's going to take a minimum of 5 hours to get there and back, and that's if we spent no time there, and we promised Sheriff Guy that we'd guard the town.
Oh, it's so boring.
We still need to send the people
That's
out
totally-
to guard the.
That's totally in character.
Yes.
That's why I'm laughing. That's totally what Sanishi. I could see Sanishi in the back of the room like, it's a boring walking around.
Could we make
Sanishi,
fake guards out of glass to scare off any potential invaders while we go and investigate?
Tarnan walks out.
Okay.
All right.
Aw.
So she goes with.
Alright.
Tarnan walks to the mayor's office.
Alright, well,
She goes with.
just after he leaves,
I-
she goes over and leans in. She goes, we're gonna kill them. And then she walks away.
So like Iki watches all this happen and is like shrugs, just like, can at least try to kill them all, and follows Grelda.
What?
In her head, Grelda's going, murder, murder.
Just tell her I hope you heal up quickly and then leave too.
I hope so too. Okay. Leave. Close the door. Is everybody following? Johnny?
Once we're all around the street, I'll explain my point of view.
It doesn't matter, you have a magnetic personality. You can keep walking and we would follow.
It's only because you guys aren't distracted by beer or something to kill.
Or shiny things. Or shiny things.
Or fish.
Or shiny beer.
Or shiny
Shiny
beer.
Oh, I might be into that too.
Oh,
Careful, there's a
You
thing
got a
here.
valid point.
Very cool.
We are supposed to be guarding the town, but if the mayor is cool with us leaving, we can go satiate someone else's thrill to kill.
Well,
Working on
if the impending threat is from Thistlewood,
Top.
Close enough.
the
This-
top of
Nettlewood,
Thistlewood.
Thistletop.
This
Thank you.
nettle top.
All of it's spiky and unpleasant
Yeah,
for short people.
Just get some thicker skin, you'll be fine.
Pokey Gobtown.
Listen to these guys continue walking.
this conversation is happening as you're walking to the mayor's office.
But we do all agree Pokey Pokey Gobtown is what we're calling it.
I hope we fight Pokey Gob Man in
Well,
Pokey
All in
Gobtown.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
The motion passed.
Aye.
Pokey Gobtown it is. Sorry, Captain.
Suddenly you think this is a democracy?
Please mark the map
Oh, we were voting
appropriately.
on whether to just go to the town. I'm gonna go with Tarnan to go talk to the mayor.
Oh, that's what we're
We're all kinda
walking.
walking.
We're just pestering him as we go, because it's not a short
All right.
walk.
As you get to the town hall, the door is unlocked per usual.
Knock, knock,
So
open
you
the door.
go in. It's up a flight of stairs, down the hall. You've been to her office before. So
Madam Mayor, are you in?
She's sitting at her desk. There's papers all around. Yes. What can I do for you?
You can
Thank
us. Thank us? Yes, you can thank us. Go ahead.
I do wanna thank you for what you did at the Glassworks. I don't know how many of our Crown's Guard we would have lost if you hadn't taken care of what was down there. So I
None.
appreciate it.
It's so boring.
Sanishi, please. We kind of held ourselves to a contract to stay and guard the town, but we believe the primary threat is going to be coming from Thistletop. We would like to head to Thistletop, but that's going to leave us not in the towns.
There's more of a threat.
Oh yes.
I thought we explained
Of
that when
what?
we came back up, actually.
This we believe to be primarily goblins. The stuff that was underneath is somewhat sealed and fairly well dealt with. If you got some strong backs that want to carry stone down there and start filling in these tunnels, that would be a good idea. Unfortunately, I don't have time or manpower to do that for you. And
So-
I don't have the funding to hire someone from Magnemar to come and actually seal it up proper.
So you believe that this problem is going to come from Thistletop?
Yes.
All right. If you've done more than enough for us, if that's what you believe, then do what you need to do.
I think our talents would best be seeking out the problem before
So-
coming here.
You're not.
So
You're not from around here. And then she reaches out, go one drawer over the side. That might be that.
Here, Sanishi, read this. Kidding.
With your
You don't-
teeth.
You don't actually have to read it.
Thanks, Dad.
Please be more respectful. Please be more respectful.
I know.
Shut up.
I know Thistletop is along the coast to the north. Not many people know much about it because the goblins have
Can we
the
blank
Nettlewoods
this?
and
We
Thistletop.
don't have to blank it. We'll just go like this.
The goblins have been in Thistletop for as long as anybody can remember, so I can't say anybody's too familiar with it, but
Thistletop is here.
I know it's to the north along the coast, a couple hours.
Would it be faster for us to borrow a boat of some kind than to
No,
go
we
by
are
foot?
gonna walk and we are gonna kill.
You can get to the island by boat, but it's
Stop.
the curves on the side. You're not going to be able to get out of the boat into the island. You might be able to, but nobody else
Would
is
you
going
like
to
to
be
go
able
back
to.
to
The
one
water's
end of
too
town, or
low
you want us to
from
find
where the
us a way
actual
to
top
get
of the
you
island
there
is.
So you can kill.
It's a
Wait,
good
wait,
60, 70 feet up.
Okay.
Would it?
Hold on, we're working on it.
Oh wait, okay. So there's like a cliff at the coast, and then the island.
No, the island goes up before you get to the top. So, water, hard to climb, island. Your best bet if you want to get there is to go through the woods. You could try it. I don't know what kind of look. I don't know how good you are at climbing
How
steep
good
cliffs.
will your rolls be?
But
Can I just say I object to having to travel between Shankswood and Tickwood? Grelda is not prepared to be either shanked or full of ticks.
It
It could just be one big tick.
You can do the shanking
She would do that, actually.
and mark ticks for every shank.
Grelda's pretty sure it's blood-sucking ticks.
Road looks fair enough on the map. Can we keep this?
absolutely, that'll help you keep this town safe. The map's the least I can do.
What else
Are
can
there
we-
any? How high are the walls around the town again? Do you remember? Anyone else?
Walls, about 20 feet.
Grayson's got an excellent memory. Certainly.
All right, guys, let's go outside,
Confused.
and I'm going to try to carry you straight up 70 feet without dropping you to see if I can fly you up the
this
mountain.
whole coast is a high cliff.
Oh my
like, where would you be able
god,
to
guys,
zip
let's
over
just
a boat?
go. Let's go
And then you
walk.
have to go inland.
We might be able to kill
potentially-
things.
Currents
so
Anything else you can
bored.
tell us?
DM said so. Currents.
No, if we really are going to
Dragon's Punch Bowl. I want to go there.
I want to go to the pit.
I just
need to look
want to
closer at
kill
this.
something.
So you behold that.
Trying to find you the exact
Yes,
number.
Don't eat it.
Watch your head there, buddy.
I was just checking to make
Talk about
sure
you.
the book was a book, and it is.
I just wanted to be clear.
Aye,
This one.
sir.
You guys need to collect anything before we head out?
I might need some tick repellent.
Does that exist?
I think I know a guy.
Is it deep woods off?
No.
It's got lots of
Extra
deet in it.
deet. Yeah.
How do you feel about breast cancer later in life?
I'm not a fan.
Well, then let's not go there.
All right, ticks it is.
Given the choice, I would also go with ticks.
All right, actually, I'll.
All
you,
right.
You have possession. I have non-character possession.
Alright, I just wanted to make sure I got it exactly.
I hope you're not
The
possessing a
cliffs
character.
on the shore's edge and to the island are about 80 feet tall, almost straight up.
But there's like a bridge or something, or how does going on land help us get there?
You can, none of us, nobody's been there for a long time. I'm assuming with how close the island is to the shore, be
So-
able to get across.
But you're-
Goblins live there. They must get back and forth somehow.
You're looking at 80-foot
3
cliffs.
foot tall goblin's not
80
going to
foot
climb an
cliffs,
80 foot tall
80-foot
cliff.
cliffs. 20-foot
So I would
walk.
make an assumption there's some kind of connection.
Or they could make like goblin chains and just like they don't really care how many die because they've goblins.
Any other
Geography
tips
seems
before I get
suspicious, but
This
all
crew
right.
out of here.
Any other questions? Kill them all.
Bored and want to kill. Let's go.
Everybody's got food, gear, everything.
Close enough.
Ready, set, go! Boom!
Wish us luck.
Bored
Hope
and
to see you in a few
bloodthirsty.
days.
I hope to see you.
Oh, you will.
I have a quick, so if nobody's been there for a long time, then how did Amiko know all about it?
Suto told her.
Mm-hmm.
So how did Suto know about it?
We will never
Because
know
he was
because I killed
planning
him early.
He said
A little bit.
he said that he's
I
part of
forgive
that
you.
group. That's how he mentioned to her, and he's
I
the one who
forgive
wrote
myself.
all the notes about Nualia leading the goblin tribe from Thistletop. So he had been there.
Sunichi, you ready? Let's go.
Yes.
Out the door I go.
Woo.
And as he has discovered, wrangling this group of murder hobos is as easy as walking out of a room while a conversation is happening.
Yeah, just let them continue to talk. That's all. I'm good at that. They keep talking, I hear ideas, and sometimes like, excellent, let's go do that. Meanwhile,
We're not as murder
Okay,
hobo-ish
so
as
there,
last time.
although there
No, you're
is a
definitely not as
forest in
murder hobos as
Nettlewood,
last
there
time.
is road on the way there, which seems fairly significant, just as a reminder.
There is a road?
Yeah,
Is a
oh yeah,
There is a road part of the way there, yes.
most of the way, but once we get to a certain point,
you said 2 hours?
It's about 6 miles, so about 2 hours.
well,
Bold of you.
she is.
So-
walking.
Unless you
I know.
stop and do something.
There's actual roads, so because she said that horses wouldn't help because it was like thick woods.
Once you get to the
Yeah.
woods section of it. Like there's a
Oh,
road,
let's
and then you
just
would have to leave the
We're
road.
Walk
and go
already.
We're already walking.
Okay.
Yeah, we're walking.
They're discussing this as we're walking past
Okay.
the gates. They're talking about getting horses, and we're already into the woods. We're continuing down the road. We're almost there. We're like, all right, sounds good. We'll get a horse and a cart, and the short people get in the cart. I'm like, brilliant idea. And here we are at the edge of the woods.
Okay, so Captain, these people are just—they're just.
Alright, so about 5
He
miles.
just complains.
There's like 4.5,
Okay.
5 miles of actual road before, according to the map, you need to venture off into the woods.
Anytime they
I would
start
say
whining
the
and
two
asking-
short people are probably complaining and plotting other ways to make this trip while we're walking.
And every time they get
And I'm
yeah, I put
flying
something else in.
just kind of like above, like more or less directly above, maybe a little ahead of folks every now, just kind of like, seeing if I see
Perfect.
anything, like just serving as
I could
a.
not
Alright.
ask for a better team.
Yeah.
I have my counselor. I have my destroyer of worlds. I have my guards. I have
Alright,
my
um,
scout.
You
only I had a ranger.
Give me a perception check, Icky. Since you're flying up,
You know what?
and if you're flying that high,
Can I see your jail, please?
Oh lord. Run away, run away.
You may indeed.
Because I'm going to give this one more chance. But if it doesn't, if it does me poorly, then it's going in jail.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, it doesn't care about your threats.
Final chance.
19.
19.
Nice, it saved itself.
So perception
The threat
check, you
of
said?
the jail succeeds.
So that's a critical hit for me.
Man.
perception is
Good for-
intelligence.
Well, I should have used that to
No, there we go.
heal somebody.
All right.
I feel like it's a good roll.
So skills,
I
perception plus 2, so 21.
21. All right.
21 days.
Okay. As you raise up, you can kind of see the coastline. Since you're going up 60. What?
Nothing. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh.
I said rise up, but
Oh, okay.
Like
You
Rise
can
of
you can see the
Runelords.
coastline, and as you get to the point on the road where the map would tell you to turn off, you can see the coastline and you can see a little island, and then you can see it's pretty thick trees between here and there. You can see the island has like a little it's got cliffs on the side, but it's kind of got
Sequoias or
an odd shape to it.
That thick.
every time he says clips on
This is why it takes us 5 years to get through a campaign. And you can actually
I'm here.
you can see there is it looks like there's some type of bridge between
Okay.
the two.
Okay.
Suspicious.
From a mile out, that's about all you can see.
Okay. But so like at this point we're like at the edge of the forest though?
Yes.
Okay. So
You would
since-
need to
yeah,
go
but there's
through the
woods.
forest to get there.
Yeah, so like I mean
No,
I could fly out there.
Next campaign, we should all be Aarakocras. And we could just like fly everywhere.
Screw you.
Then, nope.
You all be Aarakocras. I'm going to be a Tabaxi and eat you one by one.
You can all be Aarakocras, and the campaign will be in the Underdark.
Yeah, remind
I
I'm
said I'd
the
still
only
be-
one on the team without dark vision.
Are you going to come tell us what you've seen?
Yep, yes, I am. I am trying to.
I know. I'm trying to help you.
Thank you. No, yeah, like so I land with everybody. I say like I tell everyone what he's just described.
Words with words.
Bridge, forest, thing.
Let's do the murder walkie thing.
Whee!
Was there any other approach aside from the bridge? That seemed like a place someone would put guards.
So we kill him.
It would be nicer if they didn't know we were coming.
So I can.
But then we just kill more of
For
them.
anybody
We
who
have a
can't,
sneaky guy.
I can either
for anyone who can't fly or doesn't know of a secret passage into the heart of this stronghold,
doesn't float.
no, we fucked.
So I
front
can either
door.
scout through the woods, check out the bridge, or we can let Sinishi negotiate.
I have access.
Or I can scout until we get to the bridge, and then once we get to the bridge, since it's wide open and I really can't sneak across it, we let her negotiate from there on.
I have access.
What time
I
of day
think-
is it?
You gonna ask them some questions?
That's a good question.
I'm gonna ask
What time of day
so
is it,
many
Sid?
questions.
Conversation 2 hours. 10? 10:30?
Beautiful.
Maybe 11?
Through the woods.
I feel that discreet movement through the thistle wood,
Nettlewood
nettlewood,
to Thistletop.
to nettlewood to thistletop. So I think that we should go carefully through nettle thistle.
Have you tried to move
Spiky Pokey Land.
Yeah, this is Spiky Pokey Gotti Land. Until and because if this Thistletop is really a goblin bastion or stronghold of some such,
we feed them Sinishi.
I don't
And
think
watch
we
them choke
I
on
don't
it.
think we want to let all of them know that we're coming.
Well, if they all find out that we're coming, we feed them Sinishi and let them choke on it.
Yes. Yes.
Is that code for send Sneeshi and then we run away?
I'm gonna kill him.
I'm not gonna run away. I'm gonna sit back and help her by shooting from afar.
I'm gonna.
I would not
Kill.
like the odds of us against an entire island.
We got
But
that
they're
whole.
goblins.
Hold on. We got the whole bridge thing, right? If we're getting screwed, we go across and wait for the whole bridge to fill up with goblins, and Sinishi goes, look, whoosh, I killed both ropes at the same time, and she just killed 12 at a time.
So long as we don't give
And
them
then
an
we have the
opportunity to
bridge.
come across the bridge before we get to the bridge.
Is it a rope bridge? Is that what you saw?
Is that an option for maybe?
All I
sneaking
could
to
see
physical?
from this distance is that
I can
there
see
is a bridge.
That is an interesting question. Gyson, do you have anything that can silence the rest of the group? I mean, movement-wise. Mouth-wise, not even your spells are going to work. Sorry.
It might not be a
I
bad idea
don't
to
believe it.
scout
I
as
do.
Make it 5 by
close
5.
as we can get, and then send
have a-
Ollivander to send a more discreet
We do have an Ollivander.
scout of the immediate vicinity.
You do not.
What?
I'm talking to him.
He doesn't have an Ollivander?
He doesn't have anything to keep you quiet.
Oh, okay.
And sneaking through.
Damnation.
But yeah, I do have an Ollivander.
Fine. I will lead the sneakiness.
Ollivander? Is that like an amphibious?
Yes,
owl?
we're going to sneak to the bridge.
Ollivander's an owl. He's my
Alright,
familiar.
you're walking into the woods?
Yeah.
Alright, what's
Oh,
your marching order?
Ollivander. Okay, I get it.
Me.
1,
Me!
2,
60
feet.
3.
I didn't hear the.
What's the marching,
Marching order.
He's leading you into the woods.
Oh, okay.
Him,
Sneakify.
I'll go last then.
Oh, nim nim.
Alright. Then
'Cause-
I
'cause
need
I'm more-
if you all are trying to go quietly, I need a sneak
Stealth check.
from everyone, and then I also need
Into the dice.
a
Into the hole.
survival check.
Sons of beaches.
I think it's survival.
Which one first?
Yeah.
We'll do sneak first so we can hit everybody.
So, Ikkidan rolled a 22.
22.
Is sneak stealth?
Yes, so. A
17.
stealth check.
15.
17, 15,
6.
6.
This is the stealthiest I've ever been.
How is
Well.
the giant bird?
Hey!
Hey, owls
the
are very
giant
quiet.
half ogres being
Go ahead,
stealthy
and then I
too.
need a survival check from you since you are leading.
Goddamn.
You die.
Oh my.
Your survival base check is better than my final stealth check.
That's kind of... Survival... 8.
8.
Oh no.
Okay. You all, I mean, it's thick. I mean, it's woods, but you all managed to relatively move quietly. You're about a mile from the coast, and you should be able to traverse this in like 15, 20 minutes, even like half an hour through this woods. To cover this distance, you get turned around a couple of times. It takes you about an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay.
Because your survival checks kind of get lost.
Oh, we made a good time.
But as you continue forward, the briars and thistles grow so rampantly in the nettle woods.
That it took us that long to get around them anyway.
I might have said the F word a couple of times in character.
But they, as you get closer, you begin to be able to hear the coast. You be able to hear the ocean, and
Follow it.
no, like you hear it in front of you. You're
Right,
going
so-
towards it. Yes. But as you go closer, the briars and thistles begin to grow even more dense and tangled closer to the shore. Although not quite dense enough to block the sound of the waves crashing from the unseen shore, the undergrowth is certainly thick enough to block sight and access to the coast. Few trees grow this close to the edge of the sea, but the briars themselves reach heights to rival them. You get to a point where the briars end up being about 20 feet tall and thick to the point where you can't walk.
I'd like to
through
do
them.
some type of investigation to look for a path that the goblins have used to get through.
You can absolutely do an investigation check.
Is anyone going to help him investigate?
Oh yeah, I have pretty high investigation.
Excellent. I will roll 2. And I will take the 9.
The 9?
Yes, I will take the 9.
Yes, he will. He will take
Definitely
the
will
9.
take the
Yes,
9.
he will.
Which becomes investigation. Some of the beaches. It becomes an 11.
An 11?
You do have 2 people ready to hack at this for like an hour.
Yes.
And I can fly.
I don't know, you know.
As you...
We haven't looked
You
up.
said 11,
we
right?
don't know what the canopy looks like.
Okay. No. You needed a 10.
Aw.
You find
I
this...
got it.
No, you
I
needed
got
a
it.
10, he got an 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remembered the number.
You have the wall of briars. You walk back and forth along this wall to the point where it starts to curve away from the shore. You walk back and forth, and it takes you a few minutes, but you begin to notice that there's one patch that's not as natural as the rest of it, and you can see that it's not naturally grown. It seems to be something that could be moved.
I move it.
Okay.
Well, you haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay.
So then I'd say, Shinichi,
Yes?
see if you can move this for me.
Okay.
I point out the spot that I noticed.
Well, you
I know.
move it.
You probably found a new
Just
No,
point it
you
open.
made the right call.
Okay. Briars, prick your fingers a little bit, but she pulls it open. It's about 5 feet tall, and it basically just kind of swings open like a door.
Fantastic. Sasha, clear the hole. And you can go with.
You see a 4-foot high tunnel that leads into the nettle, like into it. It's only 4 feet high, and then it goes in about 3 feet and branches off to both sides.
Grella walks forward.
Yeah,
Without,
that's-
noticing any height problems
short,
whatsoever.
Tall!
You two
Open the door.
would be
do
able
we
to
do?
walk through this
Just
without an
whatever you
issue.
want.
Like, you'd be able to stand up and brush the top of your head, but you're fine. Any medium-sized creature is going to have to hunch over, and you're going
What
to have
about
to
a
move at half
Tanisha-sized
speed.
creature?
Tanisha's a medium-sized creature.
Oh, okay.
But you basically, like, you're hunching over and
Well,
walking
I'm
in, so
hunched
you're
over,
half
she's
speed.
on her hands and knees.
Oh, but
he's
it's
like
like-
folding his wings around himself.
Same as, his
Fantastic.
wings are against him. He doesn't need to fold them.
Good.
You all can get in there. You just need to hunch over, and
He
you're
doesn't
moving
have
at
to
half
worry.
speed.
You are-
No,
At
both.
one point you were a human and you're a gnome now, right?
No, he's always been a gnome.
I've been a gnome the whole time.
The whole time? Must have been a
Whole
fever
time.
dream.
He's got
You
a lot of
don't know me.
personality. It just seems really tall.
You don't know me either.
So no, you two would be able to make it into this tunnel. No problem. You three have to bend
Or
over,
do
and you're
you?
walking at half speed.
So I guess we come to the split. Grelda would like to know if there's any signs of traffic.
Are you looking for like foot traffic?
Nate, I want to
Yeah.
change my rebuttal.
I'm not looking for flight traffic, that's
Or
for sure.
do I?
No, I'm just like okay.
What
Give
about
me
what?
an investigation check then.
You said
Is
you
anyone
don't,
investigating
you
with
said you don't
me?
know
Sure,
me, and I said,
yes,
orc,
I'm
do
with
I?
you.
A little late, but
Yeah. Still good.
it could have been
Damn.
good.
That's not good. We're gonna go with the natural 9.
Kind of hard to rhyme Arakokra
Yeah,
with a thing.
I was trying and it just...
Yeah.
I should not have attempted to investigate. I have a -1.
I have.
So that's
a
an
lot of
8.
Investigation.
Yes, I think you all should figure out who has the best investigation bonus, and perhaps
That's
have them
probably
investigate
me.
in the future.
Yeah.
So you have an 8.
I do.
You see there are footprints.
In both directions?
It just back like there's footprints.
There's literally footprints.
See.
I have found
Like-
footprints!
No, you see like you can tell people have walked this particular path before. That's what you can
Feet
tell.
Have walked. Maybe not people.
And it's
I
just
think
one of those things
people
where I
have
can't
been
really
here.
investigate.
Short
And,
people.
okay.
No, either 2 people investigate, 1 person can investigate with advantage.
Sorry.
but
I'm
you
never
can't-
going
You can't
to
just keep
investigate
doing it
again.
until somebody gets a good roll.
Sure.
Pick a
Because
direction.
as far as you know, she thinks she's investigated well. She
Yeah.
just didn't. She doesn't like.
You pick
She doesn't
one.
look at the ground to be
Right.
like, well, I can't really tell what's going on. She's like, there are footprints.
She's going-
I'm awesome, and everybody's like, okay.
Yes.
Well,
you
it's like
are
it's like the
awesome.
same as a perception. If you're
Thank
like
you,
you're
Sneaky.
listening at a door and you roll a 2, you think you hear everything fine. You just
Tanishi's
don't.
getting-
You just
As soon as she
don't.
knows she's getting close to killing something, she's starting to salivate, and before she drools on me, would you please pick a direction?
Right.
Very good.
That is a
She was just
Terrible.
agreeing.
Right is the
Yeah.
correct direction
Like,
always.
It's like you're getting
All right.
excited.
So
Get
what
to work.
speed are we moving at?
I drool.
Hunched over medium
You
speed.
don't salivate at-
You're just walking normal speed.
Well, we're being a
Maybe
little
something
quieter,
like
I
That's
think.
what I'm asking.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, okay,
Stop
guys, I have
Yeah.
one suggestion. I could send Ollivander down the tunnel to see.
This has had a 0% success rate in the past.
Let's
We've confirmed in the
go.
past that there was not shit that we were about to walk into.
That's fair.
Let's just go.
We've had a 100% success rate with Ollivander in the past.
Except for that one time he died. But that was
Go ahead.
like we're mulliganing that.
So I will control Ollivander, that I could be looking through his eyes and send him down the path.
All right. So you're all standing still in the middle of this path at the split. Ollivander goes down. All right. Give me a perception check. for Ollivander.
Is it the same as my own perception check?
No. There should be a creature section. Because owls have a pretty decent
Do you
perception.
not think I'm trying to get you where you want to go? investigation.
Passive perception 13, perception
Gross
plus
one.
3.
Okay. So yeah, give me a.
I believe you can.
9.
Somebody on a roll.
I'm sorry, your guys'
Ha!
rolls tonight have just been
Eat my
garbage.
rolling
Just-
rock.
Oh,
Excuse
wait,
you.
wait.
I have rolled.
I-
like,
You actually,
But
Except,
I have
except for the beer drinking or water drinking.
Oh, that's it.
I have advantage
You're
on
yes, and,
perception
I have
checks that
rolled,
rely
like,
on hearing
for
or
one
sight,
thing,
so I can
and
roll
it was
again.
a
yeah,
good
I'll give you an
roll.
advantage on
That was
that.
a 20? Come on.
But every time I roll it in here,
Here, I'll.
Raise the
12.
dice.
If you're not going to give respect to a die, I have a die that
All
I
right,
like
so
to give respect to.
the owl, Ollivander goes forward, and he manages to. I mean, with it, he's
Actually,
an owl,
you know
but
what?
even his
Both of these
wingspan,
guys-
he's like filling this particular tunnel as he's flying down. He's taking up most of the space across it. It kind of winds to the right a little bit, winds to the left, winds back to the right. Then he comes to another spot where it splits off, right and left.
Okay.
Run away.
It's about 40 feet down. After like 40 feet, and then it splits
Coin?
off again.
So I communicate to them that there's another split up ahead.
go left this time.
He can't hear you. He's blind and deaf. He's in the owl right now.
You tap his left arm.
I squeeze his left hand, but yeah.
Alright, I'll have it go to the left.
All right. As it curves to the left, there's about 15 feet, and then you see the Nestlewood open up into kind of a circular pattern, and inside of it, you see a few goblin dogs, just kind of roaming around. They're all currently on chains. A couple of them are laying there. There's two just laying down. There's two just kind of, looking around, sniffing, snarling at each other, fighting over what looks to be a dead seagull. But it's circular.
So
Why was that
it's like a
horrifying?
circular clearing in the forest, like it's surrounded by trees then?
Yeah,
Or
it's
by-
about 10 feet across. It's maybe like oval. It's about 10 feet across, 20 feet deep. But there doesn't seem to be, from what your owl can see, unless you want it to go into the clearing. There's not an opening on the other end. It's
Okay. Alright, I have it go back to the last fork.
okay.
Fork that.
And have it go to the right.
It goes to the right,
All the way.
and you notice it splits off again. Goes looking left. The path kind of keeps going and then curves, and to the right, it only goes about 10 feet, and then there's another little circular clearing. This one's a lot smaller. It's like 10 feet by 10 feet, and as soon as you turn, like as soon as you get to this fork, you look down and you can see at the end of that clearing there is a small goblin sitting facing away from you, and laying right next to it you see it's kind of looks like a leopard, only it's pale blue with a bright red stripe going down its back. It's currently asleep right next to this goblin. Goblin is turned around facing away from Ollivander. He's wearing what looks to be dark purple robes, and he's like hunched over.
Okay,
Man,
so there
if I
was
was a druid, we would be going after that goddamn leopard.
another fork.
Yep, it came up, it forked. Goblin dogs. You went off this way. It didn't go too far, then it forked again. This one kind of curved. This one went to where you saw the goblin, and the other one just kind of kept going upwards. You see the tail of the cat, the panther. It twitches, and its ears perked up.
And I
And then
call
it
it to
comes.
zip back towards me down the tunnel.
You can actually, as a familiar, you can just blink it right back to you if you want.
Oh, really?
I'm saying, yeah, I can poof.
Oh, I did not know that. Sweet,
Cool.
I will do that.
Teleportation.
So up that way, there are some goblin dogs. There's a goblin, possibly a caster with some sort of leopard.
Let's go.
Is there room enough for Shanice to just stand and get a good swing at it?
Kind of feel like we should investigate the left path, because I didn't see any clear way out, and there's enemies up there. So
Is that I spaced this part if it was mentioned, but is the ceiling higher in there, or is it still the same level?
It's the same. It's about the same level the entire way.
One at a
The
time.
the goblin dog section,
Was
it was
big enough.
clear. It was open,
Okay.
but the rest of it was about the 4-foot height.
I challenge Sunishi to dice while this happens so that she doesn't get too terribly bored.
Go check the other.
Roll a d6.
I whisper this, but for the sake of all
Stage
our
whisper.
loving viewers, go
All,
check out the other side.
all one of them. All me.
All you, whatever.
Apparently the only one who watches this shit.
I'll send the owl down the left tunnel then, carefully, like kind of slowly.
Slowly? Oh yeah, give me a stealth check for the owl. You're gonna do it slowly.
Is that again? That's an owl thing that I
Yep.
check.
It should. The owl should have a stealth check. If it doesn't, let me know. Otherwise, if it has a dexterity section, it would just be whatever the dexterity modifier is.
This says Dex +1.
Dex plus 1. Alright. Then its stealth checks would just be. whatever.
Oh wait, no, Stealth +3.
There you go. I thought it had something.
We continue doing this. Until this
22.
happens.
Oh shit. Oh yeah. Your owl silently glides down this tunnel. It goes off to the left, again curves back, forth, goes 20, 30 feet, and then it gets to a point where the path opens to the right into a wide open area, 25 feet by 25 feet, no ceiling, and then continues to go about 15 more feet to the left, stops, and on that path there is a wooden ladder that goes up. As you get to that, that's what you see ahead of you. You see like there's an opening to the right, and there's a metal ladder straight.
And I don't see anything else in the clearing. There's no.
Do you want to go up to that? Like it's not like a side path; it just opens up into the clearing. Do you want to fly past it?
So I'm still in like sort of that.
You haven't got. You're about
tunnel
10
leading
feet
up
away
to
from where that branches off, where it opens up into that clearing. Like you haven't reached that opening yet.
Like carefully approach the clearing, like watching for if I see any enemies or movement or anything.
All right. In the clearing, you actually see there are about 6 goblins sitting with their hands tied behind their backs, and above them there's one larger goblin on the opposite side of these, and there's 3 more around them, and they're like poking them with sticks, and they're just like. You can see the ones that have their hands tied, they're like bloody, and they're very afraid of the ones that are standing over them, and the ones that are standing over them look like they're just having the best time of their lives.
So there's one large goblin and 3.
There's
regular ones?
there's 2 larger ones, 2 smaller ones. There's one of the larger ones off by himself. The other 3, the 2 smaller ones and the other larger one, are next to these goblins that have their hands.
I like how you've set us up to rescue goblins. When we hate goblins.
Well, it's not you have to do shit. You can do whatever you want.
I know.
Be like a different tribe or something.
Captain, I just had an idea.
What you got?
So
We don't know this yet.
So this place is like all nettly and
True.
like gross and shit. Can we just burn it down? That'll get the goblins out, and we can kill them.
Let's
knock
do
'em
that on
out.
the way out. In case there's anything we want to save.
If you burn them, you can't kill them.
Dude, no, we smoke them out.
Let's do that on the way out.
Alright, so I
That
zip
is an excellent
my
idea.
owl back and I
you.
describe
You guys don't want. I'm gonna make sure
what
you
I've
don't
seen.
miss any.
Did I notice
the
anything
next
about the
thing that's
ladder or
like-
anything? Like, or that opening?
it looked like there were, I guess you'd say, wood posts that go up along with the ladder.
And then the other thing, I guess, while I'm there, through the owl, does it sound like I'm closer to the ocean or
Further
further?
away.
Further from it? Okay.
I mean, you can still hear it, so you're not like a lot further, but it seemed like the other path you were taking, it was louder.
So I described what I saw. There's a ladder that goes up, so there's a path there. The other way, there was a windy path near the wizard-looking guy with the leopard. And that path seemed to be closer to the sea, which seems like it's probably closer to the island.
Are we not on the island yet?
No.
Okay.
We gotta get through this
Yeah, we haven't come to
maze
the bridge yet.
and then get to the bridge.
So, thoughts on...
You
Kill 'em.
said there was one that had a opening. When you said opening, is it high enough? Is it open to the sky?
Well, both paths had, the one with them tied up was open to the sky too,
Yes,
right?
and so was the dogs.
So both ways had one that was open to the sky.
The only one you didn't explore was the one that...
Exactly what I was thinking.
Take a look, ski.
The only one you didn't
Once we
explore was the
clear
one
the
that
area.
kept going.
Let's go to the
Next
one
to
that's
the leopard, right?
towards.
Yep.
Goblin on goblin violence is hysterical.
You're just gonna kill all anyway, so.
Well,
let's-
yeah, but
what-
it's still funny.
I didn't see it firsthand. Which one do you think is our best option right now? If we take out a caster, it makes me happy. No offense.
I'm gonna kill them all.
But I would also like to get to one of the openings so that Icky can use his advantage and take a look, see which direction we need to go.
Let's kill them all.
We're going to.
I mean, the path that goes closer to the sea seems like it's more likely.
Let's go there. Lead on.
I'm behind that.
You first, if you know where you're going, or you first and him right behind you, since you have the least amount of trouble in this somewhat confined her following. I'll take
I
up
feel
the
like
rear. Or
if
do
he's
you want
leading
the
the
rear?
way, maybe like if he can tell you where to go, maybe you should.
I mean, really, it's
Well,
just
or me, I guess.
a path that
Sneaky.
can only. I mean, you really have to just follow the path.
I'm only
so-
saying, size-wise, I'm kind of constrained and.
I
So
just
it's
want
not-
to go. Are we gonna go
I would
that
say
way?
that you would be better to take up the rear than I would because I don't have any ranged attacks.
Fair. Okay, I'll take up the rear.
Okay.
You two, then you.
Do you want to go first, or do you want to just tell me
I
which way
think
to go?
maybe ladies probably better than first.
Okay, alright. Ladies first.
All right. So if we want to, I guess what do we want priorities? Do we want to take out the caster, or do we want to send him up into the sky to look around first?
Take out the caster.
Okay. All right. So we go and we take a right. The next fort.
Thank you.
Alright, so you're moving down?
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Regular speed, you moving slow? Okay.
Gnome speed.
you. Half speed.
Why are you like trying to
We
be quiet,
want
or you just
we
walk?
want to be quiet.
We want to be quiet. The goblin's facing away from us. The leopard seemed like it's
Paying attention.
able to either hear or smell
Um,
pretty well, but
Time check. It is 10:02.
It is.
Okay.
Go about half hour.
Well,
You said 10:30, right?
right, but we had just said that like at 10 we
We'll
want
figure
to
out a
find-
good place to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an idea,
So
depending
just-
on what
All right,
happens.
cool. Just want to make sure we're all
Good luck with
aware
that.
and keeping consideration going.
Alright, if you're walking stealthily, give me stealth checks.
Oh dear.
Walk stealthily.
You go into my jail here.
And I'm not walking stealthily. 3.
Oh, I beat you! Yay, thank you!
9.
13.
That is a 2, right? Yep, that's a 2. So 3.
12.
8. I don't know if you're just listening for the lowest number and going.
No,
down.
I'm listening to everybody. That's what I was looking for.
I
Alright.
fucked it all up. Don't worry.
How good does the leopard listen? Probably better than a 2.
So everybody
Plus one.
leading, you see the section that cuts off towards where you saw the dogs. You can hear them snarling at each other because it's a bit like I said, it's a little off, so they don't. There's no visual, but you can hear them. Hear the chains kind of rattling against each other. Go forward, turn to the right. As you turn to the right, you can see the goblin and the panther. What do you do?
Thought it was a leopard.
Giant
It's
cat thing.
I said it kind of looked. Did I say it looked like a leopard?
I
Either
don't
way.
know. Somebody,
it's a
somebody,
large
somebody
cat
else said
with
leopard.
dark blue, like midnight blue fur,
Okay.
and a red stripe.
Okay.
Kind of goes down.
Oh, a red stripe.
It's a racing cat.
I was thinking
Alright.
orange stripe and thinking it was.
So I
you know,
turn back
just
to
for
Tarnin and whisper like what I see and ask if you want to try to sneak attack while his back is turned to us.
Sure.
All right, as he mentions this, as he turns to you and hears these words, the panther, it's actually a, no, it is a, what's the actual name for it? I think it is a...
Leopard
one that
panther.
actually, no, it's a fire pelt cougar.
Ooh.
Fire pelt cougar, its tail twitches, its ears perk up, and it opens its eyes and looks up as like you're having this conversation. It lets out a growl, and the goblin looks over at it. Shut up, Tangletooth! I'm concentrating! Then it growls again, it like pulls away from it and growls again, and he puts it down, turns around, and looks at you.
Seconds?
What was that?
Has it been more than 6 seconds while we're sitting there arguing? Do we get
It
action?
happens. You wouldn't. It growls. He says that. He turns and looks at you. It heard you come up.
Okay.
So this all kind of happens at the same time as he turns.
No surprise round. Got it.
He turns and looks at you. The goblin turns and opens its eyes, like its eyes wide, and then
Initiative.
Hi.
what are you doing?
These guys can't get past
I would
me.
like to throw a sausage to this.
It is.
poor
It is. You are
abused
single
cat.
file.
Yeah.
It is you, then you. Like this
Grell
is
is in
4
front of
feet
me,
wide
though.
and
Yeah.
4
Am
feet
I?
tall.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
first.
Grell's leading.
Then.
It's
so
you,
my first
you,
thing
you,
is
like,
to pull out a
there's-
sausage and throw it to the cat, because this is abuse of the poor cat.
Let me at the goblin. Let me at the goblin. Let me at the
Give
goblin.
me an animal handling check.
Oh
Let me
dear.
at the goblin.
I'm sorry,
let
all
me
of you.
at the
This has not
goblin,
gone well
let
tonight.
me at the goblin.
15.
15? Okay, so Geisen turns, talks to Tarnan a little bit. You two, unless you say something, you don't notice what's going on because like you're single file, so you guys are having this conversation while the fire pelt cougar looks at you. The goblin turns around. So I don't know if you say anything, but you pull out. Do you say anything while you're doing this? You're pulling it out and tossing it.
There's a good kitty.
So, you're asking him if you should sneak attack, and you hear, there's a good kitty, and a growl, and then you toss the sausage at the cat. The goblin, looks at, the goblin, jerks as soon as you toss it. It lands near the firepelt cougar, it looks at you, it growls, takes a step forward, and starts eating it. The goblin looks at the cougar, looks at you, stupid cat! Smacks it, and then starts backing up. And you can see it reaching for a
I immediately
reaching in its
turn to the
pocket.
goblin and say, "Leave that cat alone."
It looks at you, and then it can see enough past you to see that there are more.
Uh huh.
It looks at you, and it's reaching in its little pocket pouch. It's frantically reaching in there.
Okay, as soon as I became aware that there is a goblin right there, I'm going. Let me at him. Let me at him. Let me at him. Let me at him.
You are 4th in line?
1, 2.
I thought it was.
Oh no, 3.
Yeah, because I was
So you're
right.
3rd in line.
Yeah.
So
'cause
you're
I'm right
you're
after
talking
these
through
guys.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're talking through people because I'm right after these two. So
Go,
next
go,
after
go,
these
go,
two
go.
is hunched over.
All right.
over
Go ahead,
with
so-
So I do
axes
move
going,
forward so other people can get into the clearing.
Thank you.
Let me at him. Let me at him.
Do I have enough action left to throw another sausage to the cat? Because clearly this thing is very abused and I'm very upset and I don't like goblins to begin with.
Yes, as you're moving forward, like I said, it opens up, and it's a smaller area. It's 10 by 10. So there's
Which
a
is-
goblin in the back.
Like a foursquare?
Yeah. There's a goblin in the back. There's a cougar kind of next to him. So there's really only enough room for 2 more people in this little opening.
Oh, there's another goblin?
No,
Like
there's a
just the
goblin
one.
and a cougar.
Yeah.
There's only
So,
4
here.
squares. It's 10 by 10.
Here.
So if you think about 4 squares, there's
4.
goblin, cougar, and there's only enough room for 2 more people in this immediate vicinity.
So goblin and cougar are occupying 1 square, you're saying?
Here you go.
No, one square each.
He did say another 2 more
Alright,
people, which
goblin.
would mean 2 people.
That's the right goblin, actually.
Goblin.
And we'll go, Amico is the cougar.
That's
Burn.
wrong.
That's right.
Is she off?
Alright, put that way. That's it.
Wow.
Alright, Miko's the cougar. And then there'd be room.
Is that Yoda?
It's a goblin.
Alright. So,
So you said there's room for
There's room. If you could rush
room
in.
for 2 full people or
Yes.
for 3 people?
2 full people.
All right.
2 normal people.
So we are looking at
So what are you doing?
dupe.
I think these are
Right.
the dice are
Yep.
us.
Alright, so you're rushing in and throwing another sausage. As you move in, is that the only thing you're doing?
I'm readying Sasha for the
All right.
goblin.
Alright, then you're right after. So are you going into the open space? Because we're
I kind of have
right
to.
now we're just gonna
Well,
do
you could
in order of
you could move
roll.
aside to let somebody in front of you.
Is
Like
there
the
space
melee
for that?
person.
Somebody-
If you wanted to let someone by you,
Instead of a
you
meter.
could.
Yeah, you
You could take it.
technically move through an occupied space as well.
All right, I'll let Sneeshy through.
Alright, so
Alright.
the cougar is again interested in the sausage more so than it is with you. It actually grabs the sausage and pulls both of them back towards the side and just kind of looks at both of you. And you can see that it's not the most well taken care of. There you go. It's not the most well taken care of animal. So while it is with this goblin, it's not necessarily like not a loving relationship between the two. So it seems to be quite happy to just ignore it. The goblin, you can see it's a little smaller even for a goblin. It's a little bit of a runt, but it has dark blue robes, like full robes. And as it gets back, it pulls out a small wand, and then it sees you move, and it sees a half orc come towards it, and it just throws the wand down, and it goes, "No, don't hurt me! Don't hurt me! No!"
Hurt him.
What hurt him?
You know, attack him?
Fuck yes, I'm gonna attack him.
We could get some information from him since he's not being
Do you
particularly
shout
violent.
"Don't kill him" to me, and then she overhears you? No.
I've never learned
Alright.
there's no point in me yelling, "Don't kill him" to you. I mean,
You did it one time, belatedly.
Alright, you're gonna attack. Roll for an attack.
Do I need initiative or just attack?
No, just roll for an attack. There's not really enough. We're going in order of the row before we really go
Jesus.
nuts on initiative.
I just rolled a natural 20.
Which doesn't.
Who are you?
I don't. Well, that's kind of normal.
Monk
No.
guy.
It's the damage.
Yeah,
But
So-
20
I
didn't
get-
negates you having
Yeah.
to roll for damage.
That's
That's kind
All right, then. So it's the first die would be maxed out. So
That's an issue.
max it out. Roll it again,
well, I guess that would be 6 plus 4, so 10.
and then add any modifiers.
Oh, that would be 10 altogether. Because
So
1d6.
it's 1d6.
Yeah.
Plus 4. Okay, so it's 6. Roll another d6 and add that to the 6, and then add 4 to it.
4, so that's 10, so that's 14.
14.
Oh, right, because of that thing.
All right, you run up with your first swing, and it's cowering, and you carve like down its arm, and it lets out another shriek as you do that, and you have another attack if you want.
Does she get like a thing?
I'm pretty sure she gets this.
Do I...
Oh, yeah, that's right. You get the 20 card, and then you get one of the red or the blue. So what does that say? And it has
Yeah, like the weapon on the side matters.
that's depending on which kind of attack it is.
I'm gonna look at the bottom of the stack to try and help her out. I believe it's the first one. It's 2 crossed swords.
That's not. Yep.
Yes, slice tendon, double damage, and target speed is reduced by half until end of target's next turn.
All right, so instead of 14, you do 18.
Wait.
Double damage,
Double damage.
like
Double.
full double instead of rolling twice.
Oh, okay. I was like, 14 times 2 is not 18. I'm not so good with the mathings, but
Pretty sure.
All right, and then its speed is removed by half, and you have an offhand attack as well.
Do I have to...
You have to attack again.
I do have to attack again.
It is a separate attack.
That one's 2.
oh my.
Plus...
She was admiring your handiwork from the first
I
attack.
Yeah,
can't blame her.
So that actually gets to an 8 total.
8. Okay, so you carve into this goblin with the first one, and you're splitting its cloak along the side. You can see its green skin, and it pulls back from that attack as you swing the second one, and you miss. And as it pulls back, it looks down and goes, "Ah, no! We help you! Leave us alone! Whatever you
Nobody
want,
makes
just let
me
me
do
alone!"
Alright.
And then it would be
Yeah, I wasted my turns on sausage.
I don't know if that's wasted.
Why is my
I know,
turn?
right?
Everyone else is gone.
Oh no, it's Iki's turn. I'm sorry.
I was-
I'm sorry.
I was third.
So moving aside
This
was
is
my
Icky.
turn, basically.
Iki's pointy.
And then once everybody gets we go
He's a
through
guy
the
with no
rows.
hands.
All right.
Or with no weapon. He's handsy.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Because it's not. It's combat.
I'm more
It's not
clawy.
combat. Nothing's fighting you guys
don't have
back.
claws.
So
Oh, here I even got the dwarf out for you. Fine, Billy. Where's Mage guy? Mage guy?
All right, that's Nishi.
Is it?
This?
Yeah.
This is a staff and.
Alright, Iggy.
Well, it's
orb.
supposed to be Nishi.
Position-wise.
Oh, that was gonna be me. It's the Tuscan guy.
Shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like, because it.
Oops, let's face the right way.
Yeah, I know. It's bedtime. Shut
And Sinishi's the one with the axe going.
up. I don't
Yeah, it sounds right.
care to attack it.
Do you care to stop Sunichi?
And my turn's over, so I'm stopped for a little bit.
Only briefly.
alright, Iggy, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't. So I say like wait. Let's capture it. Let's capture it.
Technically, Icky and Sunichi are not boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yep.
So the look should have less effect than usual.
I know.
I'm just saying.
As he says this, like Cal's like, yes, listen, bird, listen to the bird.
Ooh, racist.
And now we kill him.
Does it work? No? Okay.
I'm not gonna kill it. I think that we should restrain it.
Do you want to attempt to restrain it?
I can't. Can I like?
You have a rope.
Yeah.
Get your
Oh,
fucking
but
rope then.
there's not enough room.
Yeah, like I can't.
Oh, come on.
occupy...
We have like elite rope skills. We have proven.
Yeah, I have,
No, there's not enough.
There is
room.
no room
There's-
in the.
No.
There's no room in the space for me to occupy.
So we're not in initiative.
So like, even if I wanted
anybody-
to run
like-
in and kill it, I would have to like.
Trample
Turn asked
Sunichi.
it.
I think I have some knives I could
Can
throw.
you show us to a large group for her to kill?
Better idea. I have better idea.
Spit it out quick.
I know.
Hurry.
I know why you're here.
Why am I here?
The attack on Sandpoint. I told them not to. I told Warchief Rebecca not to. I told him they'd send longshanks and horses and adventurers and they'd retaliate. But that woman, she has them betwixt. It's her fault. Worse than a harpy, that one is. Don't tell Rip Nugget I called her a harpy.
Ooh, Rip Nugget is a harpy.
No.
No, don't tell Rip Nugget I called her a heart.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It's her fault. It's her. She's betwixt him. It's not us. We wouldn't.
Where?
We wouldn't.
Where are they? Where's
Here's your
Rip Nugget
opportunity
and the?
to make her happy. She wants to kill stuff right now. You need to lead her right now to something not you to kill.
Dia, we make Gogmorn make deal with you. I help you. You kill this woman. You get her away from Rip Nugget. He will listen to me again. I take you there. You kill her, and then you leave us goblins alone. We will not hurt Sandpoint again.
Fuck that, I'm gonna kill you. You're a goddamn goblin.
We said we would kill every goblin who hurt our friend.
I said I'm gonna kill every goblin.
We didn't say when.
Take us to the leaders. The leaders sound like something that would be more challenging for you. This guy's not going to be a big deal for you. What are you worried
Also,
about?
this cat. I don't like what you're doing to it.
Can I just finish killing him?
It would be too easy. This is not.
He
a
veers
challenge.
back as she keeps mentioning this.
No. See,
Silence.
I take you. Kill her.
He's not a a worthy challenge of your skills. We're going to have him take you to the war chief, and you get to destroy a war chief, and then
How do you,
run
like...
rampant.
Can I learn spells from a different wizard?
Okay.
No, yours are all written. If a wizard had a spell book,
It's dumb to leave someone half.
Am I
like
within,
this,
like,
though.
conversation
You're leaving.
range?
I
or
mean,
whatever?
you
Okay,
can.
we are killing
Yeah.
them.
I ask him
Carry him.
if he's a
No.
wizard.
He's leading us
No.
to the rest of the targets.
Not
And then we're
wizard.
killing them.
No book. He looks at
Sure,
you.
but he doesn't need to know that.
Okay, but we're agreed we're killing them.
Long shanks.
Stop saying that.
Long shanks.
I probably
Not
can't
paying
I'm not
attention.
disagreeing.
reach the wand that he threw down, but I tell Icky, I ask him to grab the wand that the guy threw
I
down.
think only Sinishi and myself can
Yeah,
reach
those
that
are
one.
they're the only two
Yeah.
that are actually
Oh,
in
I
this
thought
little
you
small
were
clearing.
in there.
No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Nope,
Then,
there's only
then
room for
Grelda,
two.
I asked to...
I'm
Can
right
you
up,
pick up
I'm
the-
next, but
Can you pick
Can't
up the
get in.
guy's wand, please?
I glare threateningly at said dude. While I do that, like, you try something, I will fuck you up so hard. That's like the look.
He is literally shaking.
I know, he's super
Oh yeah,
scared.
no, 'cause,
I'm
like
very
I'm,
scary. It's
I'm
just,
sitting
so-
here like licking
I
my
know,
blood
you've
covered
nearly
ass,
murdered him, and Grelda's
like
pretty sure
staring
he's scared
him
of how
in the
short she
fucking
is.
eyes.
So, as she reaches for the wand, she does again reassure the kitty, "There's a good kitty. You don't deserve such bad treatment. That's a good kitty." I take the wand, and I like hand it back.
Thanks.
She has a good point. Why do you treat your cat like shit?
I'm sorry.
See, he's sorry. Now lead us to the war chief.
No. Now, Dia, you kill the woman. You kill the Longshanks. Then Rib Nugget will listen to me again. I sneak you in. Nobody needs to know you're in there. I sneak you in. I'll take you down to the lower floors where the woman always hangs out.
So,
You kill her.
Good, show us
You
the way.
leave. And we never bother Sandpoint again. No one needs to
Ever.
know you were there.
Ever.
Show us the way now.
D-
Do
just-
not make me ask you.
Do we want to trust that he's going to sneak us in there and not just alert every goblin in sight to attack us?
we'll kill
You
him.
can
What's he
insight
doing?
check.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I'm not even worried about insight checking right now. What is he doing after I gave him that ultimatum?
He looks at all of you and like he slowly begins to stand up, but there's not enough room for him to get past anybody.
Yeah, who would have insight?
I have +2. We could bind his arms so that he can lead us without actually being able to do much.
It's more sounding the alarm that I would be concerned
We could
about.
gag him?
I'll just stay with him and smile at him.
That would work too. We would gag him and bind
good
him
with that.
and let Sanishi hold the end of the rope.
He shaking like a leaf, just waiting, blood still.
He's speaking in common.
He's speaking common, yeah.
Okay.
In Goblin, I tell him that if he betrays us, I will murder him and every other goblin in Sandpoint.
Sanishi, what languages do you speak?
He
Shakes his head.
Common didn't work.
Just kill the woman. Her silver hair. Oh, she is ugly. Kill her. Unbetwixt Rib Nugget. And you will have my thanks.
Did someone bind him already? Is he leading us?
yes,
Yes.
Fantastic. Lead on.
and he leads you
Who's-
down the other. He
Wait,
begins to lead.
Wait. Kitty. Kitty.
That's true. We've not dealt with Kitty yet, and Kitty
Kitty's still there.
does need to be dealt with because Kitty's a thing.
Tell your cat to stay.
This is not a group that
What?
will not
He's good
not
kitty.
deal with
His
Kitty
mouth's muffled.
with
You
sausages.
shoved something in the. No, you bound his hands and
The
gagged
goblin
him.
is muffled.
Oh, the I thought you meant the cat muffled. I'm like, what are you talking about? The cat's muffled. We never muffled the cat.
We're not picking up every stray puppy and kitten that we
Shut
pass.
your mouth.
Alright, so he begins to lead you
Yes, we
down
are.
the path that Ollivander
Excuse me?
had seen that you didn't go down.
Shut
You
your mouth.
hear
Yes, we are.
No.
the noise
we are
of
definitely
the
not.
shore coming closer.
Well, Grelda's not going to leave without addressing the kitty situation.
So Grelda's staying behind?
If you guys are leaving this poor abused cat, she's going to make sure the cat's okay.
How are
Just
you going to make
fight
sure
the
that
dang
that's
cat.
okay?
Say what?
How are you going to make sure the cat's okay?
Like, he's busy eating some sausages,
Yes.
like you do. So, even if they're walking away at this point, she feels like she has begun sort of a promise with this cat. Like, you don't just feed someone and be like, go have at thee. So she doesn't like crowd the cat. She's like, everything okay? How's it going? It's good, kitty? Want some milk? Kitty.
It growls and hisses at you as it's eating the sausage.
But does it seem like a friendly growl?
Right, and, like there's a growl and then there's a growl.
Come
like,
on, we're
some
cat
growls
No,
you can
there's
overcome.
the growl hiss before the cat beats you up.
Is that the growl hiss that we're talking
Okay,
about?
but then there's the beating up and then there's the beating up. Not all beat ups are the same.
Something tells me the DM is telling us that we have two choices with this cat at this point. Either we can walk away and everything's all good, or we can keep pushing it and have to kill it.
While I, the player, understand what you are saying, Relda, the character, is not pleased with leaving this poor abused cat behind.
That's real.
Well, you
That's
can
real.
think about what you want to do with the cat.
All right. Well, I don't have
Over
a lot
the
of
next week.
I don't have a lot of sausages, but I'll throw some muffins. Kind of like toss them. That's a cookie.
It looks at the muffins and keeps eating the sausage.
I know, but that's Relda's sort of way of saying like, we're
I can
buddies.
just picture the disdainful
So I just wanna
cat
make- I wanna
face
understand.
look.
The goblin is moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Are you not following it then?
Oh no, I think I've got it on
Yeah,
a
I think
leash.
She
I'm
does.
the only one who's not following.
The only one who stayed behind.
Okay.
And I'm going to follow after the muffin incident.
Yeah, no, I've got
I
the
will
goblin
follow
tied
her.
up on a leash and a giant fucking big shit grin on my face.
Well,
to
it
keep
leads
him
you.
from
It leads you down the path. You hear the waves of the coast get louder, and that's where we'll stop for tonight.